that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news for this Saturday, October 10, 2024, suspect in the hit and run of an on-duty police officer in St. James is now in police custody. Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Moy Crawford, said more resources are to be deployed to the parish following recent incidents of crime. Raid by St. Catherine's South Police resulted in the seizure of several firearms and ammunition in the parish this morning. In news from the region, General Manager of Hyatt Regency Trinidad, Michael Hooper, is apologizing for what he describes as a premature announcement concerning cash transactions at the hotel. On the international scene, the Israeli Defense Force says it has killed 440 Hezbollah fighters as the UN warns of refugee crisis in Lebanon. While in sports, Liverpool continued their impressive start to the season by securing a sixth successive victory in the English Premier League. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
The police are reporting that the suspect in the hit and run of an on-duty police officer in St. James is now in police custody. He surrendered to the police earlier today in the presence of his attorney. The critically injured constable remains in hospital. The JCF has commended members of the public for their vigilance and cooperation that influenced the rapid progress made in the investigation. Commanding officer for the St. James Division, Superintendent Aaron Samuels, had disclosed that the hit and run occurred while the constable was on duty in the Granville area of the parish.
Police officers assigned to the St. James Division were conducting a roadblock exercise along the Granville Main Road vicinity, St. John's, when one officer signaled at white Toyota Probox to stop. The Probox slowed down, but upon reaching close to the police officer, the Probox sped up, hitting the police officer, sending him over a precipice roughly around 50 to 70 feet deep. The police officer was rescued from that precipice. However, he was unconscious but still alive and breathing.
Superintendent Aaron Samuels. Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Moy Crawford, said more resources are to be deployed to the parish following recent incidents of crime. In the latest incident on Friday, 2 people were killed and 5 others wounded after gunmen opened fire at the Mandeville Market. Speaking with the media during a tour of the market on Saturday, MP Crawford says while the incident is alarming, the police continue to make strides in solving crime.
The vendors, they're very happy for our presence, my presence, and that of the security forces. So, it's really to get a first-hand assessment of the feeling, the mood, atmosphere, and just to hear from them as well. What are some of the changes or what they want to see implemented from our side. But generally speaking, the incident has largely shaken up the entire constituency, the Mandeville community, the entire parish. Since the start of the year, we've had about 40 murders. It's very unacceptable. But what we want to continue to assure the public is that the security forces continue to do the very best that they can.
She said citizens have been left traumatized by the incidents of crime. The Manchester Central MP also disclosed that the National Security Minister has been contacted about the incident.
The government continues to give the security forces the necessary support. I've spoken with Minister Horace Strang this morning, and he has reaffirmed government's commitment to pay special attention to the parish of Manchester.
Rhoda Moy Crawford, MP for Central Manchester. Meanwhile, sections of the Mandeville Market are slated to be repaired. The word has come from Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Moy Crawford. She made the disclosure on Saturday during a tour by the media of the facility.
I would have long spoken to Minister Desmond McKenzie, and I know that the government has identified a large sum of funds. I don't want to say the figure here, but the government has identified a huge sum to see to the repairs of the market. So in short order, we will see repairs for the Mandeville market.
Rhoda Moy Crawford, Member of Parliament for Central Manchester. Police in the St. Catharines South Police Division seized 4 firearms along with magazines containing 57 9mm cartridges. The seizure took place in Big Lane in Central Village in the parish early Saturday morning. Reports are that between the hours of 5:30 a.m. and 5:25 a.m., and 5:30 a.m., that should be 3:50 a.m. and 5:25 a.m., a police team conducted a targeted raid in the area where a party was being held and searched the premises. During the search, the firearms and ammunition were found at different locations at the back of the premises. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Member of Parliament for Western Hanover, Tamika Davis, says an insurance scheme for vendors could be a viable option to explore. Her comment follows a devastating fire at the Lucy Market on Friday, which ravaged 22 shops and left 6 others damaged. Vendors lost all their goods, with many noting that the fire occurred in one of the busiest shopping days of the week. Ms. Davis says there is a need for a long-term solution, highlighting the increasing frequency of market fires across the country.
It must mean that we have to put things in place to one, see if we can lessen the occurrence in whatever way we can, and two, that in the event that it does occur, that there are plans in place to assist the vendors more readily, whether it by way of insurance, as you suggested. The options are limitless, but certainly I agree with you that we ought to be looking now at ways in which the vendors can feel secure and that in the event of disaster, they are protected. We want to be in a position as government, and we are responding swiftly, as Minister Charles has already sent for a list of the persons affected and in what way. So what is certain that the ball has started to roll in relation to rebuilding, and it will be in stages. The assessments must come, and then it is on to the next phase, which is rebuilding and restocking.
She adds that the idea of an insurance plan for vendors is not out of reach.
Very recently, we had it in place for the farmers. Almost unheard of to hear of farmers having insurance, but given what is happening in our agriculture sector, it was explored, and the farmers liked the idea, and it is now a reality. So certainly, it is something that we can look into for our vendors in the market. And it's not a far-fetched idea at all.
Tamika Davis, Member of Parliament for Western Hanover. She was speaking during Nationwide at 5 on Friday. Meanwhile, vendor Karen shared her heartbreak over the extent of her losses.
So you see, when me reached down there and look, man, I was so astonished. Before me reach down there, me take my pressure. I have the machine to take my pressure. My pressure was 190 odd over 113. And my heartbeat was 113 per minutes was my heartbeat. I said, my God, what is this? When I reached down there and look, I wasn't looking towards that because I think it's when the back of the shop then burned. When I look, I see piercing, nothing at all. As the firemen, they try to get busy and everybody hears smoke. Everything was disturbed. It was, man, I feel like I'd have dropped down. But me say, God, just hold me up. They can't drop down, you know. I'd go worse.
Fire victim at the Lucy Market in Hanover. The news now from the region. General Manager of Hyatt Regency Trinidad, Michael Hooper, is apologizing for what he describes as a premature announcement concerning cash transactions at the hotel. In a Facebook post on Saturday, the Trinidad Resort announced that effective November 1, the hotel would be going primarily cash-free and would only be accepting US dollars, the British pound, sterling, and euro dollars for cash transactions. The entity soon came under fire on social media for excluding the Trinidadian dollar, resulting in the deletion of the post. The general manager has since said the announcement was premature and contained inaccurate information. He also apologized for any resulting inconvenience and confusion. In a statement on Saturday, he informed that no changes would be made to the hotel's payment process at this time. On the international scene, the Israeli military says it has killed 440 Hezbollah fighters since the start of the ground invasion into Lebanon. Hezbollah has not commented. More Israeli airstrikes hit Beirut after the Israeli military warned people in a southern suburb to evacuate. Hezbollah fires dozens of rockets into northern Israel. The group says an airbase near Haifa was among the targets. 2 senior Hamas figures were killed in northern Lebanon, the IDF and Hamas had confirmed. And now to sports. Liverpool continued their impressive start to the season by securing a sixth successive victory in all competitions with a victory at Crystal Palace, but it came at a cost as goalkeeper Alisson went off with an injury. The early Premier League pace-setters took the 3 points thanks to Diogo Jota's first half strike as the Portugal forward capitalised on some poor defending to turn into Cody Gakpo's cross.
Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Gakpo. And Gakpo into a great area where it's tucked in, polished off eagerly, gleefully by Diogo Jota. And it's taken 8 minutes for the league leaders to strike.
In other results, Arsenal beat Southampton 3-1, Brentford beat Wolves 5-3, Leicester clipped Bournemouth 1-0, Manchester City outscored Fulham 3-2, West Ham thrashed Ipswich 4-1, while Everton and Newcastle drew 0-0. In tomorrow's fixtures, Aston Villa, they will host Manchester United, Chelsea are at home to Nottingham Forest, while Brighton, they will welcome Tottenham. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. Suspect in the hit and run of an on-duty police officer in St. James is now in police custody. Member of Parliament for Manchester Central Rhoda Moy Crawford said more resources are to be deployed to the parish following recent incidents of crime. Raid by St. Catherine's South Police resulted in the seizure of several firearms and ammunition in the parish this morning. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned because up next it's Sports Nation Live with Wayne Walker and Alric Swaby.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress, easy in-store financing, and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Register for one of the premier events of the Chartered Accountants Week 2024, the ICAJ Business Conference. That's right, the conference is set for October 10, 2024 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel and online. This year's theme, Reimagining the Future, Integrity, Innovation, and Impact, will provide business and accounting professionals with modern strategies for today's economy. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for key discussions, insightful information on the role of AI in accounting, and more. The broadcast will also feature exclusive interviews and a wealth of knowledge that will showcase ICAJ's leadership in shaping the future of accounting and finance in Jamaica. So, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online for this revolutionary experience on October 10 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The ICAJ Business Conference is back. Catch all the action at the Jamaica Pegasus online or tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. Register for ICAJ Business Conference at www.icaj.com by October 4.
No matter how happy couples are together, sometimes there are plenty of pleasures they can't enjoy together. And there's an agreement that Joe can provide a place and peace of mind that Tom can't make happen. I mean, suppose your partner likes to eat out a lot and you're a homebody. Maybe you'll allow him to link his female foodie friend, What if you're vegan and your partner likes to eat meat? Maybe you'll allow her to link her jerk chicken man sometimes. It might sound crazy to some, but there are couples who allow their partners to step out and find fun and frolic elsewhere. Well, I know. Join me, Rodney Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic: if we said open, that mean not closed. What kind of relationship that?
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by Supermed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, October 5, 2024. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as starters gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alric Swaby, and with me is
Wayne Walker.
This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojam.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. We open the lines at 7:30 to take your calls. The numbers to call are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-630-9374. Now, coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking football, NFL, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. No, in our feature, you just had to be there. We relive the 1988 Winter Olympic Games, where the legendary team Jamaica crashed out of the games.
Starts yesterday by the sled of Jamaica One, driven by Dudley Stokes, were, to say the least, untidy. First time Stokes hardly got on board himself. And then the second time, the brakeman, Nelson Stokes, at the back, his younger brother, sat down so quickly that he didn't leave enough room for the third place man ahead of him to get his backside down. In fact, the crew were still trying to get themselves settled and sat as they went into the first bend. Let's see if they can do it a little better today. Well, just about. 5.32, seventh fastest. And they were in 25th place. Heads not really as neatly as aligned as on the more experienced crews. And he's getting one or two rather untidy high points on these bends. Much harder to drive these four-man sleds. Total weight of half a ton. Oh, and he's get all over the place in the Kreisel. Oh, and he's on there, he's over! Oh, dear me! Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's a bad crash, I'm afraid. Well, willing hands are there quickly. And we'll have to hope that Dudley Stokes, Michael White, Devon Harris and Nelson Stokes are none the worse for that heart-stopping adventure, because he was really all over the place. Well, he was in trouble almost from the start, Dudley Stokes, this 25-year-old helicopter pilot. This is the really untidy entrance into the Kreisel. And you can see he's staying up on that wall far too long, and in the end it just drops off. There's nowhere to go. And that's a very nasty collision. Shower of sparks and ice. And that whole sled, half a ton, completely out of control. And what a satisfaction it is to be able to see that all four members of that Jamaican crew are now on their feet and able to walk down to the finish house. But that's the end of their Olympic adventure. They've brought sunshine and smiles and their own brand of reggae music. A disappointment for them, I'm sure, that they're not able to complete the event. But maybe they should just be thankful that they're able to walk away.
Okay, so that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relived the 1988 Winter Olympic Games, where the legendary Team Jamaica crashed out of the games. Wayne, you're in studio with us this evening. We were hoping to have some more live broadcast with you, but I guess you decided to rest your legs a bit.
Not really, I mean, when you look at what's happening at the moment, most of the things are already over. The only thing I was thinking of was to go to Calabar to watch the game between themselves and Stats. They're leading by a goal to nil, but by the time we get on here, it would have been over like it is now. So it's just one of those Saturdays where not a lot going on. So I am happy to be in the studio. And on a different note, Alric, July 13, while we're here and we had to deviate, we had to sort of, switch our feature from time to time, talking sports with the Republican candidate, Donald Trump, now speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania, where the first attempt on his life. He's back in Butler, and it's almost like deja vu because we're in the studio right now, right about the same time that he was talking, and we're at the moment, folks, monitoring it. God forbid anything else happens, we're going to be in the same place to give it to you again. But for what it's worth, he's in Butler, Pennsylvania, at another campaign stop. He's revisited. He said he didn't finish the speech, and he's gone back there to do.
With the level of security I'm seeing, they even have up the bulletproof screen in front of him.
In front of him, yes. So, he never normally used that at the campaign speech.
I'm not. I guess we won't have a repeat. Thank to God.
Well, hopefully, people are audacious, and one of the reasons why he has to now use the screen in front of him is because the level of security around him has been stepped up to that of the current president. Normally, what the sitting president gets, nobody else gets it. Yeah, he's getting that now simply because of the double attempt. And he's a former president, and he's also a candidate for president in this election. So there's certain standards that you have to use when you raise the level of security to which you have raised it now for him.
I thought it was just a preparation for him becoming president. Well, happy to see the former president up and about, and we are sure that they will, I can't say sure, but
yes, let's hope it doesn't. Well, the Americans have gone as far as to say it cannot happen again. There are snipers on all the buildings around Butler, and as you say, he's talking with the shield in front of him, and the level has stepped up massively. So let's hope it doesn't happen to him or anybody.
Right. Even the building with arch roofs.
Yes. Well, I guess the buildings with arch roof, nobody's allowed to go into them, because they said the person who attempted to kill him the last time was there early, managed to climb up onto the top of that. I mean, with the arch roof, you're not going to try to climb up, but the fact is nobody will be able to get around that building. Nowhere. There's a perimeter fence and nobody's able to get near it. So even if somebody wants to try to climb up there, it's going to be almost impossible. As a matter of fact, I was watching MSNBC earlier, and one of the reporters was saying it was hell for them to even get in as reporters with their ID. So strict the security measures are at the moment.
Wow. Okay, with that, we take a quick break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Escape to the tranquility of Spur Tree HomeAway Villas, a placid getaway featuring 3 unique accommodations. The spacious main house offers 6 aesthetically pleasing designed bedrooms, 3.5 baths, smart lock access, and modern amenities like smart TVs. Enjoy the cozy 2-bedroom suite with private baths, or retreat to the intimate 1-bedroom suite. Relax by the pool or explore Spur Tree HomeAway Villas. Book with us today. Contact 347-307-3732 or 646-824-5232.
Register for one of the premier events of the Chartered Accountants Week 2024, the ICAJ Business Conference. That's right, the conference is set for October 10, 2024 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel and online. This year's theme, Reimagining the Future, Integrity, Innovation and Impact, will provide business and accounting professionals with modern strategies for today's economy. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for key discussions, insightful information on the role of AI in accounting and more. The broadcast will also feature exclusive interviews and a wealth of knowledge that will showcase ICAJ's leadership in shaping the future of accounting and finance in Jamaica. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online for this revolutionary experience on October 10 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The ICAJ Business Conference is back. Catch all the action at the Jamaica Pegasus online or tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. Register for ICAJ Business Conference at www.icaj.com by October 4.
Welcome back to Sports Nation Live, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. My name is Wayne Walker, and I'm in studio with Alric Swebe, my co-host. And at this juncture, we're going to turn our attention to the ICC T20 Women's World Cup currently on in Dubai and Sharjah. And you would have known by now that the West Indies suffered a massive defeat to South Africa by 10 wickets in their opening game yesterday. They take on Scotland tomorrow. And given what we saw against South Africa, the West Indies will have to step up their performance without question a couple folds if they're going to, not just win this game against Scotland, but to prove to be one of the real title contenders. The pre-match press conference took place today in Dubai, and of course it's mandatory that the captains attend, and our meaning the West Indies women's team captain, Hayley Matthews, was there, and she spoke a little about the game against South Africa, but mainly looking ahead to the showdown against Scotland and some of the things I'm sure she's hoping that the team can do differently to ensure that they win. Let's Let's listen in on this press conference given by Hayley Matthews.
I think medical staff, physio, doctor is still looking after her. She isn't out at training today, but I think, yeah, they're just taking good care of her at the moment. Not sure how fit she is for tomorrow. Might be out on the field, might not be. But yeah, just monitoring her and obviously looking out for her best interests at the same time.
Hayley, you guys have already played an afternoon game here, and we saw quite a bit of difference in terms of first inning scores in the afternoon game as well as in the evening game. What are you expecting? I'm sure you watched the New Zealand India game. What are you expecting to differ when you play a night game here, besides the obvious heat?
Yeah, I didn't actually watch too much of it, to be fair. I think it was a long process getting back to the hotel, having a few meetings as well. But look, I figure probably seeing New Zealand score around 160, maybe a bit of dew did fall. I'm not sure, was there as much spin on the wicket? Yeah, there was no dew as well. Was there as much spin? Yeah. But yeah, I reckon as you do go along the day, I do think the wicket would probably get better at night. That's what tends to happen sometimes. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the match, so I think probably look at a few of the highlights and see how some of the wickets fell, that I could do some good assessment before we do play tomorrow night.
And last one for me. Again, something on the conditions. We saw South Africa chase it down without losing a wicket. Did conditions actually ease out in terms of batting in the middle out there as we saw the sun setting and all?
I think a bit. I think when I first started out to bowl, if I'm talking about my spell personally, I did see a lot of purchase and a lot of turn within the wickets. And later on in my innings, I felt like when I was bowling, it slid on a bit more. So yeah, I reckon the wicket probably did get a bit better. I don't think anything too drastic. And kudos to them. I think they batted really well and were sensible with the way they went about it. And of course, they would be only chasing 118. So
I have another one. Sorry. So now that you're playing the night game and probably expecting a bit of dew, how much of that comes into your conversation within the bowling group? How much of that influences your practice in terms of with the wet ball, maybe with the heavier ball? How does that happen?
I think we've been down here for about 2.5 weeks now, and we played a few practice matches, and I think only in one of them did we see quite a bit of dew falling. So it is something within our discussions. But yeah, at the same time, I don't think it's something that hopefully will play a massive role. I think as a team, we are prepared in case we have to field second and there is a bit of dew. I think we've done all our training around it. But yeah, I don't think it'll influence probably selection or what we decide to do first too much based on what we've seen over the last 2.5 weeks.
Hi, Hayley. I wanted to ask you a little bit about that South Africa game. After you've had a couple of days now, have you guys, after looking at how that game went in hindsight, sort of identified anything that you could change within this playing group itself? I'm not asking you about who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, but just within your sure starters, right? Is there anything that you can actually improve on, given that it's an evening game as well?
Yeah, I think we had some thorough discussions yesterday evening after the match, and obviously it's one of those games where you kind of want to be able to put it behind you, so we try to have those discussions as early as possible. And look, I think we all knew we didn't get enough runs on the board and kind of just tried to break down why that was. And yeah, then in the bowling department, obviously not getting to take the wickets as well. But we did have thorough discussion about how we could build better partnerships, but also find a way to increase our strike rate. And at some point in the game, we felt like we really got to a period of the game after losing some early wickets where Stefanie Taylor and Charmaine Campbell were able to rebuild really well. We just weren't able to then kick into that second gear to get off to, I guess, a bigger score. So yeah, definitely some discussions that we had and some things that we've noted where we'd want to improve. And yeah, hopefully we can put that into practice when we do play against Scotland.
Got it. Is Zaida okay? We wanted to ask you, she took the hit to her jaw. Do you have an update for us now?
Yeah, she's talking a lot better today. Last night she was mumbling a few words, but yeah, I think she'll be all right. She's a tough girl. A bit of a bruise on the chin and probably taking a bit more hit from the heat that the girls are giving her while having two chins now. But yeah, I think she'll be fine.
Got it. Okay. And in your team, you've got, if Steph doesn't make it to the game tomorrow or if she just needs to rest for her own good, the pressure on you and Deandra gets a little higher, just in terms of you guys being senior pros who then need to figure out a way to score a little faster or score more runs to get the team a bit comfortable, right? How are you guys taking that, especially given everyone seems to be struggling to score runs except New Zealand and maybe South Africa from yesterday? So how does that challenge look like for you?
Yeah, I try not to take it on as more pressure. I feel like I have to and I want to score every single time I go on the pitch. Steph playing or Steph not playing, she could get one ball, I could get one ball, Deandra could get one ball at the crease. So I'm going to go out there and try my best every single time I step out onto the field. And yeah, I would love to have a good go against Scotland and take some form into the rest of matches. But yeah, I'm not going to dwell on if she's playing or not too much. I think I'm just going to focus on what I can control, which is what I do at the crease.
Yeah, and last one from me. We've been talking about spin being very important in these conditions, be it here or Sharjah. But one thing that we've seen is faster balls, even from spinners, seem to be working, seem to be giving them those sort of breakthroughs. It doesn't have to be slowing it down and making it difficult for a batter to reach out to it. So how are you maybe figuring out your own skill, or what is the conversation around the spin group in the team as far as tomorrow's game is concerned?
Yeah, I feel like we have noticed that a bit. I think that was probably Malaba's key yesterday when she did play against us. She varied her pace very well and was able to sneak through a few of the defenses with pace on the ball too. So I think we did try to take that into our bowling innings. Karishma Ramarat bowled pretty well. I think I had a bit of success bowling at a good pace and being able to be economical as well. We were able to get the breakthrough with the wickets. But yeah, once again, that was with them chasing 118. So I think just picking up all those facts and hopefully taking it into the Scotland game, we can see a bit more of a breakthrough with those quicker balls.
Got it. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Hayley Matthews speaking with the media ahead of tomorrow's ICC T20 World Cup against Scotland. And Scotland is not a South Africa.
No, not really. And the West Indies should have a better time of it against Scotland. However, this West Indies team to me looks old. They look like they need to replenish the team. I don't know what is going to be in their favor tomorrow. The West Indies is that it's a late evening game. It's 9:00 in the morning Jamaica time, but it's late evening. If you remember, Hayley Matthews was complaining about the heat. They played at 5:00 the Jamaica time in the morning, which was early mid morning over there in Dubai, and you know Dubai and Qatar and those places. They try to make sure that they schedule things at a particular time because when the weather gets very hot. They say there are times when cars are driving on the road and it's so hot it peels the thing off the leather of the car. So they have to be very careful. And so she said that the heat was a massive factor in the defeat to South Africa. So now that they're going to be playing late evening when it's cooler, let's see if it raise the level of their performance. But as a generality, the team, I don't know, there's something about the team, especially in that performance against South Africa.
I don't think it's because the players, they're relatively young on the team, apart from Taylor and Deandra.
But the young ones don't come through. It's the same ones who are coming through.
That's what I was getting to. They're not consistent. The younger players, they're not consistent. They're not coming up. And even when you watch the warm-up games, I nearly said Jamaica, but the West Indies, they were in position to win the games, and they just
fell apart.
Right?
Yeah,
they collapsed.
I don't know, and they've got a good coach. I mean, Mr. Dice isn't a bad coach. He's well revered in Australia, but I'm starting to wondering if we really have the quality to perform at the very top level. I said that Stephanie and Deandra, she came back, and I thought it was a good thing for her to come back because when she left, she was easily one of the best players in the world. We have the best T20 player in the world in Hayley Matthews, Stephanie. I mean, Shamila Connell. There's Shermaine, but these people have been around for a while, and they're so inconsistent. I don't know. The team that won the 2020 World title in 2016,
right?
The core of the team is still here,
right? That's true. But my challenge with Deandra coming back, not that she shouldn't come back, or I'm disappointed. What my challenge is the ease in which she secure a place in the team. I mean, after being out for 2 years, and you just literally walked back into the team and into the starting level. It says a lot about those that are there.
Only that she didn't stop playing. She just stopped playing for the West Indies, but she was traveling around the world, playing franchise cricket, playing for Barbados. The only thing she wasn't doing was to play for the West Indies, so she kept her form. And even when she wasn't playing for the West Indies, she was still one of the best players in the world. Even now, she's coming back into the team. There's nobody who would have stopped her from coming into the team outside of maybe Hayley Matthews. So I don't have a problem with her walking right back in. It's like, what's his name?
No, what I'm saying, is that what we have, the quality is so poor that someone can just step out and step in.
Not just someone. It's one of the best players in the world. She's close to being one of the. If she's about number 3 in the world.
If those that are there were stepping up, it wouldn't be so easy for them to say, okay.
Put it this way: if Shamela Connell should leave this team, she wouldn't come back in the way Stefan DeAndre did. You know why? Because Shamela Connell is not one of the best in the world. DeAndre Dottin, when she left, she was the best in the world, and she didn't stop playing cricket. So it would be easy for her. It's like Lionel Messi decides to stop playing for Argentina, but he's playing still at Barcelona or Inter Miami or wherever he plays, and he plays consistently. If he decides to come back to Argentina, what are you going to do? He's going to walk right back into that team because he's the best in the world. And it's the same thing with DeAndre. But I get the general point you're making. But maybe if another player had come back into the team that easily, the point would have been driven home a little bit more. But I understand the point you're making. You're bemoaning the lack of quality that we have in the team.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But she is not the example because she's the best in the world. I mean, there are very few batters in the world who can walk in DeAndre Dottin's shoe. And that is why the selectors brought her back and brought her right back in. In fact, DeAndre Dottin would have walked back into any team in the world, not just the West Indies, any team in the world. She's that good, But I understand the point. The general point is that we're lacking in talent and quality. Just about anybody could go away and come back in because we don't have it. It's the same like with John Campbell,
right,
who was on suspension. He's going to walk back into the Jamaica team. I tell you, he might even captain the team. And he was away for 2 years.
It's the Jamaica team.
But we do have the quality.
my point exactly.
Right.
Well, okay, let's take a quick break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Clip News, Stonky?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Clip News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Welcome back to Sports Nation Live right here on Nationwide 90 FM. My name is Wayne Walker.
And I'm Alric Swaby.
It's 5:43, and this, at this juncture, Alric, we're going to turn our attention to some bodybuilding, yeah? And Ryan Henry, Dan Brown, And of course, Nicholas Wilson and Shane Gordon Morrison were all multiple winners at the Maybury Investment National Senior Championships at the AC Hotel at the weekend. That's last weekend. Henry won the men's physique overall and medium class titles, while Brown was crowned bikini fitness overall and tall class champion. The bodybuilding overall and lightweight titles went to Wilson, with Gordon Morrison taking the women's body fitness and women's physique trophies. Meanwhile, Wendell Martin walked away with the bodybuilding middleweight trophy, and Brianna Johnson took the bikini wellness trophy. We're going to be talking now to Wendell Martin and Brianna Johnson about their successes last weekend. We have them on the line now. Good afternoon to you. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Great. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, let me start with you, Brianna. Ladies first. How was it? What kind of a championship it was for you?
For me, so this would have been my second time around competing in the bodybuilding competition. For me, this time around, it wasn't as, I'd say, it wasn't new to me. Over time, I got used to the training and the diet as well. Training was more intense than last time, so I had to top it up a bit with my coach, Richard Daniels. We went back to the drawing board. We stick to the plan as before, but just making it a bit more intense based on the results that I would want to achieve for this show. So this time around wasn't as bad. I'll do it all over again.
All right, and what about you, Mr. Martin?
So it actually was my second time competing at the Nationals. It was a great experience. What made it more amazing was the fact that in classic bodybuilding, which was the first category that I entered, I was placed second. And I then went ahead and I won. Also, while competing against the same guy that, was placed first in classic bodybuilding. So that was what made, made it a special night for me. And the experience, much more significant than what it was, it was always meant to be. So it was really good.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, bodybuilding, when you look at it at first glance, it's about muscles for the uninitiated. The normal man on the street look at muscles or the size and and so on. But when you go into the nitty-gritty, bikini wellness, when you break them down into that, you just say body fitness, physique, and all those kind of things. Outside of just looking at muscles, how do you know by just looking on who is doing well in what category? For instance, the bikini wellness, Brianna, break that down. How do they judge it?
So for the bikini wellness, the ideal physique for that is a balanced shoulders. Your upper body is it doesn't have much muscle mass as a body fitness competitor, where with the midsection, your waist is a bit smaller, and then your thighs now, as you describe it, your thighs or your legs, they're much bigger. So for the bikini fitness, which is the mother category for bikini wellness, those athletes, they have a smaller frame than us. So their legs are much smaller than ours. Their upper body is balanced as well, but with mine, the difference between the two is just that the legs are a bit more bigger, and then your muscles or your body have a fuller look. So you would have had let's say, Jamaicans say thick. I wouldn't say thick. It's not thick, but to understand the difference for a normal civilian, I'd say that it's a bigger body girl.
For a normal civilian, you're in the military. But tell me, Brianna, you would have been a champion in the junior and novice competition earlier in the year. Tell me, how much did that competition prepare you for this one?
Honestly, it prepared me a lot, because for me, it's going into nationals. I went into nationals with the understanding of how prep is, and prep would have been the preparation for a bodybuilding competition. So I understand that when it comes on to it, I have to just ensure that my meals are, following my diet plan. And then now, as it relates to working out, I know that I should stay at a certain body weight. So for that show that I did, at Corsley, especially going on stage. That was the first time I've ever done something like that. I do performances before, but as it relates to going on stage in front of a crowd in a bikini, I was honestly nervous, my first time, but after a while, I kind of just take it off. So going into nationals, I had that experience. The judges were there, and JABFA would have workshops where we would be informed of what the competition is like, and then just a breakdown of the categories. And of course, I have my coach there who would have been assisting me and guiding me along the way.
Wendell, you won the bodybuilding middleweight trophy, yeah?
Right.
What's the bodybuilding weight? In the middleweight, what's the weight?
So it starts, I believe it starts at 160 lbs to 180. So once if you're way between 160 and 180, then you're considered a middleweight bodybuilder.
So when you're preparing for it, outside of just making sure that you stay within that weight category, what else do you do to make sure that you're a contender when you're at the championship?
All right. So you have to ensure that you're not too small, because this is bodybuilding that we're talking about. Also, you have to ensure that your conditioning is on point. So you don't want to be too small. You don't want to be the guy that weighs 160 on stage, right? Because by any chance or by any means, if you're weighing 160, for example, and there's someone else weighing 177, 178, or closer to 180, but condition, but as not as conditioned as you are, they'll get the edge over you, right? So you want to ensure that you're not too small, but you're properly conditioned and you're ready for the show.
Right. Wendell, like we said earlier, you are the middleweight bodybuilding champion.
Right.
However, the overall bodybuilding champion, it went to a lightweight. When we think of bodybuilding, we think of muscles, and with you being a middleweight, we would assume that you would have more muscle mass and stuff than the lightweight. How is it possible for a middleweight to lose to a lightweight? And there's also the heavyweight category as well.
Actually, so I didn't lose to a lightweight. Nicholas was in heavyweight. So he went up with the bigger guys. And because of his conditioning and his muscle bellies and muscle maturity, he was victorious in his category. And we faced off. Judges' remarks were that I was, of course, more proportioned and balanced than he was. It's just that Nicholas is a great bodybuilder, and he has a lot more muscle maturity than I do. So that's the reason why he won over me.
Right, and Brianna, tell me, and you can chime in as well, Wendell. But Brianna, tell me, you may be in great shape, and another athlete can pose better than you, and this can cause that athlete to win over you or get more points than you?
Well, it's a bit of both, because based on my understanding, the mandatory poses I would have to be able to do that, but then at the same time, my conditioning would have to be up to par. But based on my research, because I do my outside research from outside of what my coach would have, tell me about, but I get to realize that if it's a case where all the athletes on stage, we are all conditioned, but if there's a specific athlete there that has more confidence than the others, or they present, because remember, it's all of us, we prepared for the show, diet, workouts, whatever it is, we have on our bikini, but when it comes on to judging, the judges are looking for a package, and a part of the package, you have to look the part as well, and you have to be able to display that on stage. So for me, I think of it as a performance, right? And with performing, you know that you have your facial expressions, you have the costume, the bikini would be the costume. So for me, everything contributes to it. That's how I understand it. And for me, that's what I think the judges are looking for. They're not just looking for someone to come on stage and do the poses. No, they want to be entertained. So for me, all of that contributes to it.
So all of that, what you just mentioned, the aesthetics, the costume, and everything, it is something that you're apprised of before you go into the championship, or you're told that a week before or whilst you're there that all of this will be a part of it.
Oh yes. So JAPA they have workshops. So in the workshop, they will advise us as to what the standard bikini should be for each category. They will explain to you that this is what you should wear. So like the heels that we wear on stage, there's a specific heel that we should wear for our division. So as it relates to all of that, they will do a breakdown of it so you understand what's the right thing to wear, because there are certain, let's say, bikini. There are certain way that the bikini is made, and you'll have to stick within that category because you can be marked down for it.
You see, people who watch bodybuilding would not know these things, which is why I ask. So I'm always wondering, how do you know what to? Because even on the competition night itself, what you get from the judges is subjective, In a football match, you already know that he wins the game if he scores 2 and I score 1. That's straightforward. You get a wicket in cricket when you hit the wicket or you take a catch. In bodybuilding, when you leave this up to the judges, it comes down to subjectivity, because sometimes you see you guys on the stage and you're posing. You can't say who is who and who is looking better or who is doing better. Do you get that from the audience sometimes when they're watching?
Oh yes, I get that, because after my performance and going around the front and sitting in the audience, I'd hear comments where they're like, oh, this person is going to win, or they're going to say, how the person is going to win. And then when I give them a little breakdown, I'm like, but the judges are looking for this. And if you compare this person to that person, you'll realize that, that's why that one didn't win. So I think some of the time, just looking on stage, sitting in the audience, you might think that this person will win, but then you realize that when you get the knowledge and understand what it is really about, because I honestly think that Jamaicans are not that knowledgeable as to what bodybuilding is. They think that as long as you go to the gym and you have muscles, then okay, you're a bodybuilder, or you were the one that was supposed to win. But when they really sit down and them hear what it is about and what you have to do, like, oh no.
Yeah, which is why I wanted you to explain to the listeners, because it's almost like it's an education for us. I really, really wondered all the time how this is done, and now that you're explaining it. Wendell, your training, is it hard to stay disciplined?
Training, well, yes. It is very, very, very hard, especially when it
comes to the food, eh?
Right, and especially when it's getting closer to the show. So, for you to really beat your level of conditioning 13 weeks out, you'll have to diet a little harder 12 weeks out. So, as you gradually get closer to the competition, right, the diet becomes a bit more
less.
It becomes a bit more less, and you have to be a little bit strict on yourself after each week. So, especially peak week, it's one of the hardest weeks, right? And even when you hit the 4 weeks margin out of the bodybuilding competition, that's when you have to turn or increase, the cardio time and all of that. You have to ensure that you are eating the same type of food, the seasonings are the same. Everything has to be the same, because you don't want to change anything when you're too close out of the competition to mess up your conditioning and the results that you've been getting. So it's very hard to stay disciplined the closer you get to the show.
What's a no-no in terms of your diet for a bodybuilder?
So definitely you want to keep carbs low. You don't want to cut carbs, per se, but you want to keep carbs low. Sugar. You want to ensure that sugar is out of your diet completely, because that's a big blunder right there, right? So that would be the no-no, I'd say.
But how do you keep sugar? Sugar is in everything except water.
Alright, so me saying that keeping sugar out of your diet means that you don't want to add sugar to anything that
you don't know added sugar.
Right.
Because everything you consume is going to have. So what about fruits, like an orange? You eat an entire orange or you eat half of it?
No. When I'm prepping, I have no form of fruits, none whatsoever.
Because of the sugar content?
because of sugar content. Not even watermelon.
Yeah, the sugar. No, that's high in sugar.
Right.
Wow.
But some persons, consider it to be a fruit that is, not so high in sugar. But the freshest of fruit they can think of, I don't have any in my diet when I'm prepping.
No fruit at all?
No fruit at all. Absolutely no fruit.
But persons would have think that an athlete would have love fruits.
No, the sugar is high in the fruits. I remember I was talking to an athlete, a former world champion in the 100 hurdles, and she gave me, it was an East Indian mango. And when I cut the mango and give her one side of it, she said she can't eat the entire side of the mango. She has to eat a piece of it, almost a quarter. She can't go over it. And I asked her why. And she said the sugar. I said, but this is fruit. She said, Wayne, when you're an athlete, you'll understand. So I understand what these people are talking about.
So I guess you're an athlete now.
It's crazy. No, I am not. No, but because I visit the gym so often, I suppose I get the hang on of it. Wendell and Brianna, to what end though? I mean, all of this sort of discipline, discipline to training, discipline to dieting and everything. To what end? If I ask Usain when he vomits at training and he gets up at 5 in the morning to meet Glenn, and then at the end of the one Diamond League, he gets 500,000 euros to run one race. He'll say, Wayne, to what end? 500,000 euros per race. To what end for you guys? Is there such love of it because does it pay?
Actually, no, it doesn't pay because even what we, to be honest, even what category winners and even those who win the overall get, it's nothing really. It's nothing compared to what we've spent for the entire prep, right? So maybe what an athlete that sort of won their category spends for 1 week, maybe it's, I wouldn't even say it's exactly that, but maybe close to that you get for winning your category.
Yeah.
So just what you spend at the supermarket 1 week, that's what you're getting after winning. So here in Jamaica, it doesn't pay. But reaching the big stage, like going pro, even matriculating to the Olympia stage, then that's where it really pays because that's when, persons will see you and you'll get all the big sponsors there once, you're on top of the game and you're bringing your A game to the stage. But in Jamaica, certainly not.
That's what I was going to ask. If a person that's gone pro or at the Olympia level, if it's the same challenge for them. But tell me, as a category winner, Brianna and Wendell, what does that qualify you for? Is there a regional or international tournament that you would have gotten points for or qualify for? Let me start with you, Brianna.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you, Alric. So winning the national championship, what it does is, I know Wendell might have received a letter as well. What it does, it qualifies us to represent Jamaica internationally, right? So after winning the national competition, which I think other athletes were selected as well, we would have been able to go on the big stage.
What I was getting at, when they have the national championships, athletics national championship, is to make an Olympic team, a world championship team, a Commonwealth team. Wendell, is there a particular competition that you and the others are preparing for or would have qualified for by virtue of winning your category?
All right. So there's a competition called CAC. Right? Right off the job for usual FCC. It's usually held in Barbados, but this year it's going to be held in Guyana. So some athletes would try to go, right? Some athletes like myself will not go. Reason being, there's no way you can expect an athlete, right, that has just gone through the whole preparation phase of, and prep includes finding a lot of money because dieting isn't cheap, especially in Jamaica. So there's no way you can expect athletes to find over $2,000, right, just to go to, Guyana or CAC, I should say, to compete after just going through this preparation phase of Jamaica Nationals. So yes, you do have some athletes that are might prepping now, and those are category winners, of course, and you have some that no, because it's not feasible.
So what Alric is saying, this championship was not to select a national team.
All right, so what I'm saying is this championship, only category winners are selected, right?
Right.
So once you win a category, then
you're
you
on the
are
team
invited.
automatically.
You're right. See, there's an invitation given, basically.
And which the local association will now take care of your dieting, your preparation to go to that championship.
No, you have to take care of all that yourself. You are fully responsible for every single expenses.
So what does the association, what role they play outside of picking you?
To be honest, I can't tell. If you have to think about it, if you have just won a category, if you have just won overall, and then in the email you're going to see that you are going to be fully responsible for all expenses, including airfare and accommodation and food, then what is it that the organization is doing for you as an athlete that have just won? You've just done well at the nationals. What is it that the organization is doing for you?
The question, though, is can the organization afford to take a team? If they can't, then don't go.
There we go again.
Right, don't go. If you can't afford it, but don't put the expense on the athlete who have to prepare, actually find their own money to prepare, then turn around to find their own airfare to represent the country. I'm always against something like that. It's either you can go or you can't go.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So how many people are going to Guyana?
So I've had word with quite a few, and I doubt you'll probably find 5 persons this year, based on those whom I have had word with. Yeah. And that's because of how drastic this prep was. As I said to you, preparation is not easy, because any athlete can tell you it's costing, it should have cost any athlete that have just gone through this prep at least $20,000 weekly, and that's without sponsorship. That's without sponsorship. So $20,000 weekly, plus what they have to pay their coaches for training and so forth. Supplementation also, let's not even talk about that, because that's another expense all by itself.
Well, it's unfortunate that this is where we're at, you know. But the reality is, if the federation can't afford it, then they can't afford it. And if they can't afford it, don't push the expense on the athletes. Well, I suppose you can ask, because in other sport, they'll get away with it. Swimming, they ask their people to pay their expenses from time to time, and they're able to do it. But bodybuilding, it's a different kettle of fish. Anyway, thanks so much for the time that you've decided to spend with us today. And again, congratulations on your victory last weekend. And let's hope the situation improves and things turn around, and you can, guys go off to represent the country whenever you do well at the national championship without it having to cost you.
Right.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right,
thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Our pleasure. Okay, so that was the athletes Wendell Martin and Brianna Johnson, the lightweight bodybuilding champion and the women's body fitness champion. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Mark your calendars. The biggest shopping experience of the year is back.
Get ready for the Jamaica Overservice Take Style Out 2024, happening October 24 to 26.
It's your chance to shop and save with incredible deals from your favorite stores. You don't want to miss out on the unbeatable deals happening all across the island.
Shop till it drop from Kingston to Montego Bay and everywhere in between.
Powered by NCB, Multilink, Island Car Rentals, and Edge 105 FM.
We a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, I can see when we're pulling up. Anything for the taste what we love. Barbecue, spicy and original, flavorful, crispy, irresistible. 3 piece with the fries and a Pepsi. Go get your one big deal, stop stress me. All when we dip on the toilet, no left with.
Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC big deal. 3 pieces of delicious chicken, fries and Pepsi. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swibe with Wayne Walker and our technical operator Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some football now. Wayne, you would have been at the JFF offices.
Yesterday was yes.
Right, for the announcement of the squad for the October leg of the Nations League. The president was there, and the head coach. He would have talked with the media and would have highlighted some of the stuff. We have the audio from the press conference. I don't know if there's anything that you would have heard that you want to add, that you want to mention.
Not really. I mean, the two things. Shamar Nicholson, he was playing in France up to last year. Well, he was in Moscow before that. And then when Russia invaded Ukraine and things started to become stingy in Moscow, he was playing at Spartak Moscow. And he left Russia and went to France. And then things have, sort of sorted themselves out in Spartak Moscow. And they've asked him to come back. But he just rejoined, and he was told the coach that he needs more time to sort of reintegrate. That I can understand. With all due respect to the Nations League, if it was a World Cup, I don't think he would have. But he think we should be good enough to beat the teams at this level, so he said that. Leon Bailey, he wasn't called up. Well, he was called up for the first two under McLaren, but then he got injured.
Right.
This time he's not injured. But I think he's in a place now where I don't think his head is in the right place. He was the most brutal act in a football game you can bring off happened to him on Wednesday. He came on as a sub and then was subbed. He came on in the 27th minute and was taken off in the 60th minute.
Right.
That's brutal. No footballer like that.
He played 33 minutes
yes,
exactly.
Mentally it messed you up. And so even today it was in the newspapers and people were applauding him in the British newspapers the way he dealt with it, in that at the end of the game he said, what a good game, the team did well to win today and let's go again, instead of talking about the situation that happened to him. But it's brutal to a football player. It really can mentally challenge you. And so the coach has allowed him to sort of just, take the time out and reevaluate. Right. And so he's not in it. But they've brought in Mason Holgate, who plays for Everton. He's a defender. And he's now on loan at West Bromwich Albion in the Championship. I don't know. He's a decent defender. Is he somebody who can help? I am not sure. But then let's see. He's gonna come in against Nicaragua and Honduras. I suppose turning off tests to see what he's made of. So I was kind of surprised that they got Holgate. I mean, I know they were chasing him. The one that people were trying to find out is another Mason Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we go to a press conference, what's the latest with Mason Greenwood? They are negotiating. They are working on this. They're working on that. And yesterday, for the first time, I went to the coach and I said, Coach, let me ask you this on the record. Every time we ask you about Greenwood, we hear they're working on it. I want to ask you one simple question. Has the player said yes, he would play for Jamaica? He said, yes, the player told him yes. I said, did he tell you yes to a point where he knows that when he says yes, the documentation will be now in train? He said yes. I have my doubt. I have a strange feeling about this Mason Greenwood. My feeling, that's my personal feeling, is that yes, they've had conversations with him. They've tried to convince him. I think he now knows that he's not going to play for England again. Not because he's not good enough, but because if he didn't get into the problems that he did, he would be the first name on the team sheet for England. He's better than every one of them, so he would be the first player. So he can make England team. But you know his situation. So he's not going to play for England. And so he now wonders, does he want to settle in France, where he's playing in the French Ligue 1, and hopefully get a bigger contract to a Real Madrid or somewhere else? Or does he crave international football so much he wants to find a national team to play for, and then when he looks around, Jamaica may be his only option? I don't know. I don't get the impression that he's bothered one way or another. And so yesterday I heard the president saying every time they try to get Mason Greenwood paper ready, there's one little thing. There's a problem.
Right.
You can't, every time you try to get the document, there's one little problem. That don't make any sense. It make no sense.
Before you start, you have to deal with that one little problem before you go in.
That one little problem comes. It don't make any sense. And so I'm having a strange feeling about this Mason Greenwood. I'll be happy if he comes. And if he comes, bully for them. But something is not sitting well with me with this Mason Greenwood thing. I don't think Mason has given them any sort of assurance or anything that they could walk with in their pocket to say, yes, he says this. I think he might have said to them, yeah, it would be a good thing to come and play for them, or play for you guys or something. I think he's given them enough for them to believe that it could happen, but I don't think he has given them that cast iron response. And so we wait and see.
Okay. And I was listening on the press conference online, and there were several players that they say weren't available because of various reasons. And when I listened to the list, I was wondering if at some point they'll have to consider going down and talking with Tuffy Anderson, but I don't know. But let's have a listen as to what the coach had to say at the press conference.
Just a few opening remarks about the squad, which you no doubt have by now. There are a few fallouts, which I'll go through. We have Shamar Nicholson, who, after the last camp, we've had many discussions, and he never felt happy about his condition or his form, and he expressed that he felt he was way behind in terms of not having a pre-season, playing in the Copa, missed it with his club, Moscow, and he wants to build his fitness up. So what he said was that he didn't feel right, in the right form, the right level of fitness to be ready to join us on this camp. So we had many discussions about this, and what he's doing is he's building his fitness up. He's hired a performance coach to work with him on the fitness side. His club, his manager, is helping him also to improve his fitness, giving him game time. He's played in, I think, 2 cup games so far, and he wants to be 100% Shamar Nicholson, and he doesn't feel he was at that the last camp. So I understand where he's coming from, and we hope that he gets in good condition, plays minutes for his club, starts scoring goals, and getting back to the Shamar which we know. And so we've expressed that we'll keep in touch, review his games, his programme, and we look to the next camp. So that's Shamar. Leon Bailey. Unfortunately, Leon got a hamstring injury for the last call-up. Came back from that, I think by his own admission, came back a little too early and re-injured his adductor the other day against Bayern Munich. I think everybody saw the game. He came in after 30 minutes and went out after 60 minutes. He has a problem. Don't quite know exactly what that is. The club are investigating that. Don't know whether he's fit or he's not, but he certainly has a problem. And too much of a problem to risk flying him here and risk him in the games. So he's really, really disappointed because after the last camp he missed, he didn't want to miss this one. He wants to play for Jamaica. He made that clear to me. And so he's very disappointed in that. Jamal Lowe is another one who, since the last camp, and I liked him in the last camp, he's not played minutes for his club. Again, I had quite a long conversation the last couple of days with his coach, who expressed that Jamal would be better working the next 2 weeks with his club, and like Shamar, working on his fitness and his form and his rhythm, which he lost after coming back from the last camp. So we've agreed to not bring him on this camp. It's the club's decision, and I uphold that. I have to have a good relationship with the clubs for the future. With the Shamar, I wanted him, but it's his decision that he wanted to get back to the Shamar that we know. And another one who's not included this time was last is Hector, who didn't have a club last time, but I brought him for the experience. He was tremendous in the camp, tremendous professional, And I said to him, need to start playing, need to get a club. I spoke with him the last couple of days. He's close to agreeing something. And I said, let's keep in touch. And if you get a club, you start playing football, then it's a chance to look at it again. John Russell, another one who I liked in camp. We brought him in last time. Since going back, he's not played any minutes for his club, and we need people to do that. He's a 6 or 8, and we have 8s enough in K-Roy, Bobby and Casey Palmer. So I said, look, we'll keep you on standby if we get any problems over the weekend. But he's another one who, at this stage of the season, it's important to build your fitness, to get rhythm, to play minutes. And if you don't, then you lose a lot. And so that's the reason, basically, with Shamar, Jamal, Hector, John Russell. But Adrian Reid is another who I watched him play last night. Very impressive again. We brought him in the last camp for experience. I wanted to look at a young player. We had a look at Adrian. I liked him a lot. Tremendous boy, great around the camp, good personality, and he's playing well for Cavaliers. But I said this time we just have 1 or 2 more experienced players that we need for the next 2 games. So he understood that. We keep in touch. So they're the ones who are out. The ones who come in, we had a problem at right back, I think, last camp. In the 2 games, Dexter unfortunately got injured in the first game, couldn't play in the second, and because Lati Vidier had played so well in midfield, I didn't want to move him into the right back position. Greg Lee filled in, did a very good job. I've kept in touch with Dexter. He's fit, he's training, maybe not had the minutes that he needs, but he's fit to come on camp. But I wanted a right back, and on the recommendation of Meron, then we had a look at Tavon Gray, New York FC, and I like this boy. Strong, good defender, gets forward. Saw him score a goal in a local derby when they beat New York Red Bulls, and he's been in the squad before and done very well. No hesitation in bringing him. So I look forward to working with him. John Bell, that leaves a space at left back because Amari Bell is injured. So that will push Greg Lee to the left back position. I needed cover there. And John is experienced. He's been in the squad before. Was in the Copa team and squad. And so I've liked him. I followed him at Seattle. So he comes in. An interesting one. Even before I came in, we've chased this player to play for Jamaica, Mason Holgate, and I think through the intervention of the president, especially trying to push through players double heritage wanting passports, I think we finally very, very, very close to getting a passport for Mason Holgate. I think he just needs clearance from FIFA. So I'm including him in the squad. He might not qualify for the first game, but we think by the second game he will definitely be available. So I decide to bring him in, integrate him quickly, and hope the documentation comes through so we can have him in both games. We'll move into midfield. I've always looked for a number 10, a creative player, a little bit out of the box, a little bit somebody who can win games, change games. And I asked Meron, and he recommended Tyreek McGee from Colorado Switchbacks. So I had a little look at him, and I liked him. This boy has ability, skill, can change a game. And I said, yeah, we'll give him a chance. We'll give him an opportunity. And I think that's what I aim to do. I'm learning so much about everything in Jamaica, and the squad is important. So I'm learning a lot about different players. And Tyreek is somebody who I can't wait to work with and to see in training and hopefully get some minutes and hopefully impact in the game. So he comes in that midfield area, and because of Jamal going out and Shamar, again, working closely with Meron, who knows all the players, every player going in whatever country. He's an excellent recruiter. Talked about the number 9, and he talked about Romario Williams, or Pavi as he likes to be called, playing for Indy 11, and I haven't seen much of this boy. I look forward to seeing him in training. But from what I've heard, he's been in the squad before. He's got experience. The players know him. Good addition to the squad, and he will play minutes because in that area we are pretty short. So that roughly talks about the squad. What did I learn from the last camp? The team have great spirit. They great togetherness. I could see that from the first moment they all came together in the dining room. Smiles, hugs, so much energy in the room. I said, if we can keep this energy, we'll be okay. That was heightened to an extent by a local quiz that we had, and we had the olds against the young, and we also had a staff team, and the staff team won. And the staff team won mainly because of the president, who got the question right of when was the president first elected into office. All the players, they got it wrong, 2017, and the staff had a man who knew the answer. And so, that was part of the team spirit and the bonding that we want to see within the squad. And I think that transferred onto the field. I think you saw it, especially in the second game. It was a tough game. Stayed in the game. Subs made an impact, and the spirit really got us through that game. So the spirit was excellent. What I liked was we were trying to build an identity, a way of playing. That means that players have to be very brave, take the ball, even in tight areas. So I was really pleased with the way that they took to the build-up, which we asked them to do. From the goalkeeper, the back four, through progression to the midfield. We had to be brave, and we were. And I was happy controlling the game basically through possession. So the build-up I was pleased with, but can get better. I was pleased with the pressing and the counter-pressing, especially in the first game, when we aimed against Cuba to play in their half and stay in their half. And because of the pressing and then the counter-pressing as soon as we lost the ball, winning it back, I thought was very good. So I was happy with that. The biggest thing I was pleased about was the fans. Oh, wow. That's my first experience of a home game, and I can't wait for the Honduras game in 10 days' time, because the fans were tremendous. I hope they continue to support the team like they did, to play the music, to beat the drums, and to give the team energy when it needs energy. So I was really pleased with that. What we need to improve on from the last camp, I think progressing in the build-up was good, but progression into the middle third and the final third, I think that needs to improve. I think in the final third, we did create 27 chances against Cuba. Very, very good opportunities. And if we'd have won that game 1-0, 2-0, we'd have been satisfied with the 3 points and also the chances created and the play that was. But I still think in the final third, we can be better. And a big aspect of the game, which is going to be important in the next two, is set plays. We only had 3-4 training sessions, and that is what pleased me the most, is that the players took on board quite a few of the messages. But we need to get better. We can be better, and for the next two games, we need to be better. So what do we need to see? We want to progress. These two games are very, very important. You know, we're Jamaica. We're the number one team in the Caribbean. Everybody is trying to shoot us down. And that will be Nicaragua. That will be Honduras again. They will be seething from losing that home game. So we know these are going to be two difficult games. Against Nicaragua, what are the challenges? Playing on artificial surface, that is a big challenge for us. They're used to it, we're not. That's a mindset, so we need the right mindset to play on artificial surfaces. They are a good team. They are a possession team. And that might at times be frustrating. So emotional control in the first game is going to be very, very important for us. What I want to see against Honduras, actually, I think we need to press better. I think we need to keep the ball better, and that's in general. I want to control the game in and out of possession, and that means pressing better, and that means also dealing with the ball better. I think we need to do that. But the things that we need to keep, the spirit, the hard to beat, the way we defended the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes in Honduras was, they put some balls into the box and we had to really defend for our lives, and they did that. And also, we talked about it being a squad game, that the first 11, they're the starters. The most important people are the finishers. And I was pleased with the way that like K-Roy came in, Kahim came in, Jamal came in, Deshaun at half-time, Bernard came in. What a difficult job he had to do. And the subs came on and made a difference, made an impact and got us through. So we're very, very pleased with that. And before I probably take any questions, I'd like to congratulate the Cavaliers on reaching the semi-final of the Caribbean Cup. I was at the game last night. Another good performance, and well done to them. Hope they progress.
The goalkeepers Andre Blake, Shaquan Davis and Jamali Waite. The defenders Dexter Lambakisa, Dishon Bernard, Greg Lee, Damian Lowe, John Bell, Richard King, Tavon Gray, Ethan Pinnock and Mason Holgate. In midfield, Casey Palmer, Karoy Anderson, Bobby Reed, Joel Latibodere and Tyreek McGee. And the attackers, Ronaldo Cephas, Norman Campbell, Mikel Antonio, Demarai Gray, Kaheem Dixon and Romario Williams.
Based off the profile of players they've selected and based off what happened in the last camp, are you confident that the profile of players that you brought in for this camp would be suited for what you want to do based off what you did in the last camp?
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked them. I think one person I left out was Cephas. I spoke with him before the last camp, and he was having problems with his club in Turkey, and he solved them problems. He's back playing. He's fit. He's in rhythm, scoring goals, and I know what he can do for Jamaica. I've seen him in every squad in Copa and Nations League, and he's a big asset for Jamaica. So that profile, I have no question, is right. The others, this is the job. I'm learning on the job. I'm learning a lot on the field and off the field, and to get results and win football matches, we have to get the best players, and to get the best players, we have to look at other players, look at every player that we possibly can. And that's natural through injury, but also through form. So we're always, and we say to every Jamaican player out there, there's always an opportunity and always a chance, because we're searching for good players, and we're searching for a good team, and we're searching for a team that can qualify, and the vision and everything is towards the World Cup 2026. That's what we want to qualify for. So everything that we do, every person that we bring in as an opportunity, and we say that's the opportunity to be part of the squad that qualifies for 2026. That's our vision, and that will always be. So, yeah, we look at the profiles in training, minutes in games, starters. I brought Jamal Lowe in very late in the last window, and he started the first game. So everybody's got an opportunity to, it's a clean sheet of paper for all the players, and I think I saw that from the intensity of training and the games the last camp, and that's what I see again this camp.
Okay, so that was head coach of the Reggae Boys, Steve McLaren, speaking with the media at the announcement of the squad for the October leg of the Nations League. We take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live when we'll be talking some NFL.
Outperform, outlast, guilty. We top performance, guilty. Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. We're in the NFL segment, the Jerome Gridiron, and my name is Alric Swiby. My technical operator is Kevin Williams, and we have Jerome Jarrett, the lead anchor in this segment for our NFL, everything NFL. So, Jerome, I won't mention anything about the EPL this week. Huh?
Alric, you win another game. Like it's just another game. It's just another game. You're one step closer to second place in the Premier League. So I don't know what's the problem.
And Man U is one step closer to.
No. I tell everybody I need Man U to bottom out this year. Like I need things to go as terrible as I can, because I don't know what Ten Hag needs to do to get fired.
The EPL is not like American sport. There's no draft system where the worst team get the best.
No.
player
And I know all of that. But
okay.
I did not think it could get any worse than last season. He saved himself, won us another FA Cup. You know, you didn't get anything last year.
Carabao Cup. I got the Carabao Cup.
I don't know what that is. I don't know to spell it. But I got another FA Cup, and he bought himself some time. And the foolishness start again this season. So, you know, I want Man U to take the season and tank, just completely tank.
And play.
So we can get a fresh start.
And play which league when the tank?
No. We just need to maintain. We just need to maintain our position in the Premiership. But we'll be good.
Okay.
Even if we go first division, at least we win something. So I'll take that. But Tangen need to go. Ten Hag need to go. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Up to love at Porto and at the Harry Maguire 92nd minute draw. Like really, come on. Ten Hag has to go.
There's no Fergie time. But don't worry. I'll send you an application if you want to come over.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm good. I just had a conversation about City. You know, City fans. I know City fans are millennials, right? And they just born last year. These City fans are so arrogant, having conversations with him.
Man U fans are saying that now because you're
No. I don't have conversation with any club that don't have at minimum six Premier League. I can't have a conversation with you. I have 20. What am I going to talk to you about? What am I going to talk to you about?
What it was like to win the Premier League.
That's fine. I have 20. I can't have a conversation with you if you don't have 6. I can't have a conversation.
They're going to tell you what it's like to win the Premier League now. There was a time when you had Beenie Man, Bounty Killer in a lyrical clash, and one of them sing a song. I don't know which one. Hey boy, stop living in the past. I'm just saying that. I just like that time.
I'm living in the past. I had the FA Cup championship last year. I beat Man City to win the championship last year.
I'm just saying.
So I'm not living in the past, but I can't have a conversation.
I like that song.
I can't have a conversation with somebody that don't have a minimum, at least 6 Premier League titles. If you don't have 6, we can't have a conversation. And for Liverpool, until you pass me, we can't have a conversation again. But anyway, let's talk some football. Can't take up the time at talk about teams that not on my level.
Relegation so threatened Man United.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon, Paul. Afternoon, Remy. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Alec is trying to upset me, but I am not today. Not today. You guys all right?
Oh, you looked in the jersey last week.
He did not wear the jersey. He hung it around his neck. You know, when baby just learning to eat, you put on dribbler. That's how he wore it. So
the bet was I'll be in a Liverpool jersey.
You wear the Liverpool jersey.
No, what's that just that? You need to put it on appropriately.
No, that's not gonna happen.
In the sleeves.
No. You'll never leave. Take pictures. You'll never leave to see that happen. But anyway, let's.
You need to honor your bet, sir.
I did, and the pictures are there to prove it. I did. I'm a man of my word. But anyway, let's get into where Jerome was wrong, where Jerome was right last week. Even before last week, I am notorious for saying I am not a Tua Tagovailoa fan at all. You know what I mean? I thought he was overrated coming out of the draft. I thought he was small. I don't like left-handed quarterbacks. I don't like Alabama quarterbacks, and the list goes on. I thought he was overpaid. I thought the Miami Dolphins made a poor decision paying Tua Tagovailoa so much money. But after watching the Miami Dolphins over the last 3 games without Tua Tagovailoa, this team is unwatchable. You can't watch them. Is it? I don't know. I don't know what to make of this, Paul. But is Tua the heart and soul of the Miami Dolphins? Is it that bad that the team is unwatchable without him?
I wouldn't go that far to say he's the heart and soul of that team. You have to understand that Miami did not really have an alternative or a backup option if an injury-prone quarterback like Tua gets hurt. Not only did they pay him all that money, they didn't have someone to step in who, had enough grasp of the offense to at least be able to not lose games for them. And I think even last week when you look at Huntley, he really was only there for about 3 weeks, and then they put him in the starting position in an offense that is not very easy to manage and even interpret, considering how complex it is. So the outcome was kind of expected.
Yeah, but outside of that though, if Tua don't come back, Remy, I believe they're gonna be in the running for the number 1 overall pick. I think they're 0-4, and they don't even look like they're scratching the surface of even competing. The team has a lot of speed. I mean, we thought of this team last year as probably the fastest or maybe the most exciting team to watch. But is that because of Tua? It can't be this bad.
Well, I think, to touch on what Paul said, there's a significant drop-off between the starter, Tua, and the backups.
Really?
I mean, the backups look borderline, incompetent. But I will give Hundley some grace because he has been there for a short period of time. But the thing with Tua, the best part of Tua's game is that Tua is accurate. And the way that offense is designed, it's all about timing, getting rid of the ball at the right time. They basically have him play like a point guard. If you notice, the Miami big plays are not on, long vertical bombs down the field. It's
short, quick passing plays, and the receivers get a lot of yards after the catch. And as much as, I myself, I'm not a big Tua fan, but, I have to give him his credit for being accurate and being a rhythm passer. And he is, the franchise quarterback for the Miami Dolphins in that offense. And I want to say that specifically. So I think what Mike McDaniels has done is design an offense specific to his skill set to really make him look, I don't want to use the phrase better than he is, but, to really, prop him up. And now that he's not there, we see, the team actually misses him.
Yeah, but we've seen Green Bay without Jordan Love, and actually Jordan Love is 0-2 as a starter in Green Bay, and Malik Willis is 2-0 as a starter in Green Bay. I mean, we've seen coaches take average players, and the team performs. What is this saying about Mike McDaniels that the team looks this inept without pretty much just one player? Tua is really the missing piece. I know Phillips is down, but he's never healthy. It's really just one piece. Paul, what is he saying about Mike McDaniels as a coach? Is he being exposed?
I think he has to take some culpability for what is happening in Miami. But I also put it on the organization in terms of how they approach Tua's contract. They still had the 5th-year option, and of course they could put the tag on him. They never had to pay him all that money. And invariably, you didn't have an alternate in place that could step in. I mean, when you come them against like a Green Bay offense, at the end of the day, you can run the ball and you can still control the clock and lean on your defense and make great plays and win games. Miami is really about a very finely tuned offense that someone off the street can't just step in and do it. So, I mean, I think Mike McDaniels is a good coach. Unfortunately, they put too much eggs in that one basket, and that basket tends to be very brittle when it comes to playing the game of football, and now they're playing the prize fight.
Yeah, well, Jerome was right. I never bought into this Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. I never bought it for 1 second. I think a 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury, he wasn't that great to begin with. You know what I mean? You can tell me, he's a bad man and he's 4-time MVP. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been good for years. I never bought it. Is this thing the Jets? I think they are 2-2, and they have a tough schedule. They have Minnesota tomorrow in London. Remy, are you still on the Jets bandwagon? Do you still think they can turn it around this season, or how Aaron Rodgers have looked so far this season? Are you pumping the brakes on the Jets?
Well, first of all, let me just clarify. I don't think I ever officially stated that I was on the Jets bandwagon to begin with. All right? I just want to make that clear to all the listeners. Do I think they can turn it around? Yeah, I think they do. I mean, Aaron Rodgers still has the pedigree. That game against the Broncos last week, I think we have to take into consideration that the weather played a huge factor in that game. All credit to Denver Broncos. I also think coaching played a big factor in that game, because in a game that was played during a torrential downpour for the most part, I think Aaron Rodgers had something like 42 pass attempts, which in my humble opinion is absolutely ridiculous. Why aren't you running the ball more? Why are you not giving Breece Hall and the rookie Allen more carries in a game that ended 10-9? So, on the other end of it, I think we have to show some love to Denver's defense. I think they're actually, starting to turn it around and play well. But the Jets are one of those teams right now that is kind of an enigma to me. I think they have enough talent on both sides of the ball to be competitive in most games. We just have to wait and see. So I wouldn't write them off just yet, but that performance last week was kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah, well, Jerome was right. I told you guys that the Philadelphia Eagles not making the playoffs this season. I said it. I'm not a Philadelphia Eagles bandwagonist. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. That team, yes, they're riddled with injuries, but there is a problem in that organization, and it starts at the top. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts just not seeing eye to eye. Jalen Hurts turn the ball over like sugar and spice turnover cakes. Like, he turns the ball over a lot. The Philadelphia Eagles are not going to go very far with Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position. He makes nice plays, but he always finds a way to give the game away. Paul, are you still confident that your team is the winner of the NFC East and a playoff team this season?
I mean, the Eagles are 2-2. We're what, 3-4 games into the season. The issues that they have off the field, it's well documented. I've said it even before the season started. I wasn't a fan of the leadership structure that you have, where you have basically a lame-duck coach coming in with a bunch of coordinators that he didn't pick. That being said, this team is too talented. I think it's a matter of making the tough decisions and moving to a position whereby, from a play calling perspective and from a unity perspective, they have one mind with how they want to play games. This Eagles team is one of those organizations right now that you have a pedigree, you have a culture, you have a mindset, and somehow, somewhere they've lost themselves. I think it's way too early to jump ship on them. Things look particularly bad right now, and it's not even issues on the field. Yes, we have a bunch of injuries, but my biggest concern is working out the leadership dynamics with the quarterback and the head coach.
Yeah, they have problems. Talking about a team that don't seem to have problems with quarterback and head coach, where Jerome was wrong. The Washington football team, actually, they look like a team. I mean, who the Washington Commanders? Is that them name? Oh, okay. Commanders are a football team. I don't remember what them name. But that team actually looks like a team. I mean, Remy, you had jumped off the bandwagon for some time, because over the last few weeks you have not picked them at all. And don't even start. I have the team.
Hold on a second. If we're going to talk about that, Jerome,
you have not picked your team in the last in the last few weeks. So you can't jump on it, right? You can't jump on it, right?
Okay, all right.
But the Washington Commanders seem to have found their franchise quarterback, and it has energized that entire team. The run game, the wide receivers. The kid looks special. You know, I am ready to admit that he looks better.
Don't. Just continue picking against him and talking. You know I'm gonna jump, please.
He looks better than Caleb Williams after 4 games, and that is not breaking news. The tape is there to prove it. The Washington football team looked like a football team, and I was wrong there. Go ahead.
All right. Well, again, for clarification for the listeners, we do have, between Jerome, Paul, and myself, we do participate in a pick'em group where we pick the games. I picked the Washington Commanders to win the game against Arizona on Sunday. On air, I said, if you're going to be objective, the needle favors Arizona. I expected a high-scoring game. I was half right. Washington scored a ton of points. Arizona just did not score against a Washington defense that, up until that game, has not been very good. Now, I think to touch on the whole thing about looking better than Caleb Williams, I think one thing that we really have to keep in mind is how important coaching is, especially offensive coordinator, when it comes to young quarterbacks. And I think that Cliff Kingsbury has done a masterful job from week 1 until week 4 in slowly but surely bringing Jaden Daniels along. And with each passing week, he opens up the playbook a little more and does a little more here and a little more there, a lot of variety. And it has them looking good. I mean, they actually have more scoring drives and incompletions on the season. So, if that defense can get a turnaround, which, there are some signs of it, Washington is a viable potential playoff team.
There's no reason why they can't win the NFC East. They're playing the best right now. The Cowboys are trying to figure themselves out. The Giants are going to be relegated this season, and the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. So for me, the Washington football team looks like the team to beat in the NFC East. I can't believe I'm saying that on national radio, but that's how it is. That's how it seems. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happened. Thursday night we had a hounding of a game. The Atlanta Falcons narrowly beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in overtime. Kirk Cousins had a game for the ages, throwing for over 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a walk-off touchdown to end the game in overtime. I mean, that game was special. Baker pretty much did everything to put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a position to win the game, but their defense just failed them. The defense failed to make a stop in the last 2 minutes. Paul, do you put any of that game on Baker Mayfield?
I can't. I absolutely can't. In fact, I have to say that, coming out of last season, even this season, Baker Mayfield has been a testament to what it means to have, just the right organization and right chemistry around him. He played well and played as good as a Kirk Cousins. It really came down to execution. There were some stupid mistakes made by both teams, particularly with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the end of the game. I still don't know how that receiver got wide open and was able to get a walk-off touchdown to win. But Baker, from the standpoint of his performance, particularly when there were speculations that he had a strained MCL and he went out there and played with that, I can't put that game on him at all.
Yeah, he played well. I mean, they got the ball late in the game and could have taken some more time off the clock.
Yeah, Jerome, can I just jump in very quickly?
Yeah, man,
very
go
quickly
ahead.
On this. Yeah. I don't want to say that I would put some of it on Baker, but I think in crunch time when they had the ball with the in Falcons territory after the fourth down interception, and the Bucs are now in control. They're leading by a field goal. To have the Buccaneers run the ball 3 straight times and then end up losing yards. I think there was a penalty as well, and getting out of field goal range and then giving back the Falcons the ball with time on the clock, I think was coaching malpractice. I mean, Baker Mayfield played an exceptional game. If they get one first down by having him throw the football, one first down, right, the game is over.
Yeah, they got conservative. There was a play. There was a play. They rolled out Baker Mayfield, and Mike Evans was wide open on a deep cross, and Baker didn't see him. Maybe he was too short, but he just didn't see him.
Yeah,
he just didn't see him. Yeah. But it was a good game. It definitely was a good game. I think it was the best Thursday night game so far this season. Looking forward to some more.
Most definitely.
All right, talk about good games. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get a good one in London tomorrow morning. The Minnesota Vikings host the New York Jets. Sam Darnold revenge game. This New York Jets team, they've looked good at times. I can't even say they look good at times. They beat the Patriots, and I think they beat another nothing team. I mean, they have not put 2 quality games. And Tennessee, just because Will Levis just lost his mind. So the New York Jets has not looked good. Aaron Rodgers have not looked good. Who have looked good is Sam Darnold and that Minnesota Vikings. And I don't see any way the Jets go into London and beat them. I think Minnesota crushes them by at least 2 touchdowns. Paul?
I agree with you. Minnesota is a better team here. I think coaching again is one of the linchpins that really make the distinction between these two teams, especially for Brian Flores. He's pretty much my lock for defensive coach of the year. But then Minnesota's execution on the offensive side is so crisp. Sam Darnold is in another position like a Baker Mayfield, where culture, coaching, and everything mixes, and the New York Jets have chaos and all sorts of drama that follows them. So I think the Vikings win this game.
Yeah, Remy, the Chicago Bears look to be getting a little bit more comfortable. Last week they got a little bit more of a running game. Caleb Williams got his first touchdown to DJ Moore. They look a little bit more in sync this week. This week they get a college team in the Carolina Panthers at home. Caleb Williams should be able to handle business in this game, right?
Is that allowed though for the Bears to play a college team?
Yeah, that's what they're going to get this week in Carolina.
Oh God.
How you see this game going?
Well, I think the Bears definitely have the advantage, and they should win. I mean, the fact that Swift was able to finally show up and be a running presence for the Chicago Bears really helps out a rookie quarterback. And I think as long as the Bears, continue to get a running game or some semblance of a running game, I think that will facilitate Caleb's, his improvement. I think on the other side of the ball, I know I have a lot of respect for the Red Rifle, but that Chicago Bears defense at home, I can't see it going any other way. I think the Bears should win this game quite comfortably.
Yeah, they should. Paul, Baltimore really put a hurting on the Buffalo Bills last week. They now fly into Cincinnati to take on their bitter rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals, who got their first win of the season last week. Cincinnati just cannot afford to go 1-4, and Baltimore, they want to continue their 2-game win streak, but something must go. My heart wants to go with Cincinnati in this game, but what I've seen on paper, I just can't go. Give me Baltimore. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think in years past, we've all kind of seen a Cincinnati Bengals team that starts out the years slow But it's different this year, and it's even more different in terms of what Baltimore is able to do. Baltimore have kind of leveled up and gotten Derrick Henry, who's given a combination of thunder and lightning in terms of the running game between himself and Lamar. I think that Bengals team is not only not playing up to scratch, but there are guys there who are just not as motivated for reasons that involve dollars and cents. And as much as they're playing at home and they're playing for their lives as far as having a season, I think Baltimore goes in there and gets a tough victory against a division rival.
Remy, this is a big game. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Anyway, Cincinnati can pull off the W at home?
Well, actually, this game is one of my upset specials. I have the Bengals winning this game for reasons, simply because the Bengals have played the Ravens very tough in Cincinnati in the last few years, especially when Joe Burrow is healthy. The Ravens are only favored by 2.5, and I think it might even be less come kickoff time because they've gotten back a couple of their interior defensive linemen, so they should be able to hold up somewhat against the run. I expect Lamar and Derrick Henry to do their thing, but I think on the flip side is that Baltimore has one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, and I think that the Bengals at home will be able to exploit the Ravens' pass defense, control the clock, and pull out a narrow win at home. So I'm taking Cincy in an upset.
Yeah, I want to go there, but I just can't. Not after what I've seen in the last few games. Baltimore
They've looked a lot better with T. Higgins, by the way. Now that T. Higgins is back, they've scored 30-plus points in 2 games. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, let's see what happens. The New England Patriots host the Miami Dolphins. Usually, this is a W all over it for the New England Patriots. I mean, the Miami Dolphins coming in wounded. I don't know if they can find enough offense to beat a Patriots team that barely put up any offense. I think this game can be 9-6 at the end. But I just think New England at home, they just have a little bit more continuity. I don't even know, Paul. I mean, who you have winning this one?
I mean, this is a terrible game to have to pick, I'll be very honest with you. We're looking at a Miami team that, for all intents and purposes, still haven't gotten themselves together offensively. The guys on the sidelines look dejected, they're arguing, they're complaining. And then let's not forget, this Patriots defense, when healthy, plays very well. I expect a very ugly game, low scoring, considering that it's in Foxborough. The New England Patriots win this game for me probably by a point or a field goal.
Yeah, it's an ugly game to call. Remy, the Washington football team, very, very confident, hosting a Cleveland Brown team who I'm sure they're somewhere at the bank trying to see if they can get back any money from Deshaun Watson. I mean, this Cleveland team just is not working. It's just not working. I don't know. Maybe they need to trade for Joe Flacco again to give this team a spark. But he's played well in spurts. But that defense that we thought last year was the number one defense in football, they just haven't turned up, and they're not going to turn up tomorrow. I think Washington run the ball all over them. No way Cleveland can beat this Washington team at home tomorrow.
Well, I won't say that there is no way, that Cleveland can beat Washington. I mean, Cleveland's defense is still very good. The problem, as you said earlier, is that their offense, in terms of scoring, I think is near the bottom at a little over 16 points a game, and that does not do it in the NFL. And when you have a inept offense, it affects your defense, as we all know, because they're on the field a lot. They have to deal with fatigue. There's a lot more pressure put on them in terms of they have to actually try to score themselves. And I think against a Washington team that is rolling right now, full of confidence in D.C., I definitely think Washington should win this game. I have picked them to win. I think they'll win by a touchdown.
All right. The Houston Texans host a Buffalo Bills team who have been embarrassed last week by a Baltimore Ravens who pushed them around and punched them all over the face. Buffalo is not in a better position this week. They're playing a Houston team that's playing very confidently. But somehow Buffalo is favored at Houston in this game. Remy, any reason why Buffalo would be favored against a Houston team that has played well this season? And do you think I have Houston winning this game, and I don't really think it's an upset? What say you?
Well, I think part of the reason for it is that Houston, kind of flatters to deceive. I mean, they played against a Jacksonville team that, by all accounts, is terrible. And they could have easily lost that game. And right now they're averaging under 20 points a game offensively. Defensively they're giving up 23 points, almost 24 points a game. Granted, the stats are skewed defensively because of that one game against against the Vikings. I can see why the Bills would be a narrow favorite here, because the Bills, up until last week, played good football. They got beaten by a superior team. So I can see why the Bills would be favored to win this game. I too have the Texans winning because it's in Houston. And I think it'll be a very, very narrow win. I think it'll be one of the better games of the day.
Yeah, this game, I don't know if there's anybody that's going to watch this game. Denver hosts the LA Raiders. Paul, I'll give you the opportunity to comment on this game because I can't. I just have Denver winning.
Yeah, I mean, Reggie, I really don't have much to say. I think the Raiders have their own issues. The best player, arguably, is seeking to leave. They don't necessarily have great quarterback play. I do respect their pass rush, and I think that gives them an opportunity to be a threat against Denver. But it's Denver at home. It's Sean Payton. He has Bo Nix. Bo Nix is playing reasonably well. I think it's not going to be an entertaining game, but I think the best thing to do right now, if you're picking anything, is to go to the home team here. So it's Denver for me.
Yeah, San Francisco getting back some players, Remy. And Arizona, they got blasted at home last week against the Washington Football Commanders. They fly this week into San Francisco. They're going to get another whooping this week. San Francisco by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think it's a case of, you have to look at this thing as in spots, and again, Arizona get no reprieve. I think they got blindsided by Washington because they were favored to win, and now they have to go to San Francisco. 49ers getting healthy, I think they will really put it to the Cardinals. I just don't think Arizona has what it takes to go score for score with San Francisco. I mean, I do respect Kyler. I respect Marvin Harrison Jr. I like some of the pieces that they have. But I just think ultimately, I think San Francisco is just too much, and they can't fall far behind because that Seattle is pushing the envelope or trying to win the NFC West.
Yeah, don't look no, but I think the Green Bay Packers, they have a quarterback controversy. Jordan Love is 0-2-1, Malik Willis is 2-0. Quarterback controversy in Green Bay. They fly to LA to take on a Los Angeles Rams team who's wounded. I mean, they're down players. They just don't have anybody left. I mean, they mustered up a win against a San Francisco 49ers team that was just pure heart. They lost last week, and they didn't put up much fight. Green Bay flying into Los Angeles this week. I mean, Jordan Love played well last week. He had 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, coming back from an injury. But this Green Bay Packers should be able to win this game. Paul?
Yeah, I mean, injuries aside, I think Los Angeles is playing against a team whose injured quarterback is now playing his second and a half game for the season. A little bit more into the mix of how things will be as he goes through the entire year. I think Green Bay, despite not having some of the key wide receiver and offensive threats out there, they still have enough young talent to pretty much move the ball. And I like the Rams. I love Matthew Stafford. I love everything they do, but that defense is reeling. And going against a team like the Green Bay Packers is probably one of the more challenging threats that they can face at this point. So the Packers will win for me.
Yeah, Seattle played a valiant Monday night game and just came up short against a Detroit Lions team that they just made more situational plays than Seattle in that game. But Seattle moved the ball at will. I think Geno Smith had over 400 yards, kill me in fantasy. I mean, it was just a bad game for me all around. But they get a reprieve this week. They get the Giants. Should be able to beat a Giants team that is void of talent. I mean, they looked good in spurts, but this Giants team is going to be overpowered against this Seattle team in Seattle. No way the Giants go up there and win, Remy.
Yeah, I don't see how the Giants pull this out, but strange things happen in the NFL. I like what Seattle is doing. I think offensively, I think they might be just too much for the Giants. I'm a bit concerned about the health of some of the defensive players on Seattle, and I think that if their defensive line was healthy in that Monday night game against Detroit, I think that game would have been a lot closer, and they could have possibly pulled off an upset. But the Giants don't have enough on offense, and then when you have the best player, Malik Neighbors, who I still think he's in concussion protocol. If he doesn't play, they have zero chance. And I don't like to say that about the NFL teams, But I would just have to say that, I would be absolutely shocked if somehow the New York Giants go into Seattle and come with a W. I think Seattle takes this comfortably.
Yeah, well, Jerome was right. I said Pittsburgh, this winning games, 15-10 wasn't sustainable. And the first time a team crossed the 25 mark, point, the Pittsburgh Steelers just couldn't keep up. Justin Fields played well last week. He had 24 points and he had a decent game. He came back. He had some good runs. He had, he's learning to play the ball, to play the game from the pocket. And he's looked better week over week over week. I mean, this week they host a Dallas Cowboys team that they also look like hot garbage. But the game is playing in Philadelphia. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers should be able to handle the Dallas Cowboys at home. It's not going to be pretty. If Dallas can somehow reach 25, 26 points, then they can steal the game. But I think Pittsburgh keep it low scoring and Pittsburgh pull out a W. Paul?
Yeah, I mean, look, a wise man once said that styles win fights. Dallas can't stop the run. Dallas is 28th in the league right now as far as stopping the run is concerned. Micah Parsons is out, Lawrence is out, and Pittsburgh is in the top 10 in rushing the ball. I would not be surprised if Pittsburgh gives them a healthy dose of that. And you're talking about a situation where that defense was basically embarrassed and not prepared for switching a quarterback against the Colts. I expect Pittsburgh at home to bludgeon Dallas. I think it's going to be a blowout and the kind of defensive performance that makes up for what they had last season. So Pittsburgh wins this from me by about 10 or more points.
No, Pittsburgh don't blow at anybody.
I agree, Paul. Spot on, I agree.
Pittsburgh don't blow at anybody. You can't blow at anybody 15-2. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Dallas is going to put up points. Pittsburgh is going to find a way to find enough points.
I don't agree with that. I think Dallas right now is overrated offensively. I mean, the only real receiving threat they have is CeeDee Lamb. They don't have a running game. And they have to drop
and that's it. And Cooks is hurt.
Against TJ Watt and company. I do not see that ending well. I'm sorry.
Let's see. I trust. In Mike McCarthy, I trust. In Dak,
I
trust.
All right, that's new and different. Good luck with that.
Why you keep doing that?
In Dak, I trust. In Mike McCarthy, I trust. He's the highest paid player in the NFL. I have to trust him. The Kansas City Chiefs host the New Orleans Saints in the Monday night game. New Orleans have come back down to earth after that 2-0 start. The Kansas City Chiefs just keep finding ways to win games. They've now won, I think, 11 straight games, spanning back all the way to last year, and just keep finding ways to win ugly games. Rashid Rice is down. His mother is out there stealing packages. Like we've seen it. We've seen it all this week. Kansas City should be able to hold on and beat this New Orleans Saints team easily, right, Paul?
I think it's a tricky game. I won't lie to you. Kansas City has some key injuries, and the Saints want to probably bounce back from some of the poorer performances. They are still a very excellent offense. Despite some of the mistakes by the quarterback in the last couple of games, they can still put points on the board. So it really calls on 15 and Travis Kelce, who does not look like the best version of himself, to be crisp out there. So in that situation, really, I'm going with Kansas City because of the defense. That defense and Spagnuolo is still one of the best in the league. And I think somehow they find ways to put the chains on the Saints offense, and Kansas City wins this game.
Yeah, Kansas City just find ways. They are the modern day New England Patriots. I'm gonna find a way to add Tom Brady in this at some point. But they are the modern day.
How did you do that?
They are the modern day
my
Patriots.
opinion on this game really quickly.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I agree with Paul. I think that this is a tricky game, and I've been somewhat mystified at how people just think that the Chiefs are going to dispose or dispatch of the Saints so easily, because the Chiefs have a lot of issues. They have issues on offense. I mean, Rashid Rice being injured is a big deal. Kelce has not been himself. I'm hoping that he comes out of it. He is my fantasy tight end. I'm hoping that he comes out of it. But offensively, the Chiefs just don't look right. This game really could go either way for me, and I really was impressed with what the Saints did at the start of the season. I like the way that they call games, and I really do think that this is a 50-50 game. And Vegas having the Chiefs by 6 points, I think, is optimistic at best. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to the defenses, and I think if that's the case, I think the Chiefs will win by a nose, but I would not be surprised if the Saints win this game.
Yeah, that 6 points is a testament to the baby goat, right? He is the difference maker in this game. If you're going to take Derek Carr or Patrick Mahomes, come on, you know, there's only one baby goat. So, you know, you're going to go with the baby goat. Huh?
I would say it's more Spagnuolo because
Coach Spagnuolo. That's the baby goat right now for the Chiefs.
Yeah, but you can call Spagnuolo a baby goat too, you know what I mean? But he's not the baby goat that moves the needle. But Spags a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal coach. But I think this game, I think we're really in for a treat Monday night. I think this is going to be a really good game.
Let's see. We're hoping for one. Monday night games have not lived up to the billing this season. We got a good Thursday night game, and we should get some good games tomorrow. So we're looking forward to a nice Monday night game. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. Looking forward to beating you again this week in fantasy, Remy. You know, it last week.
I don't play you. I don't play you yet. But don't worry. I made some trades. When I do, I'll be ready.
All right, let's go. I actually thank Kemoy for keeping Kirk Cousins on the bench last Thursday night, because I think Kirk Cousins had 50 points.
Stupid.
Like I love.
You know that's going to come back to haunt you, right?
I hope not.
You know that when Kemoy gets a chance to play and get plastered.
No, we're playing. We're playing this week.
Sorry,
we're playing this week
in the playoff.
Well, if he gets there. If he gets there. But anyway.
If you get there.
If he gets there. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on again, and we'll talk in the week. You know, but we'll be back with more on Sports Nation Live.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
This Christmas, let's bring back the spirit of giving, changing lives where it matters most. 'Tis the season to give back to those in need. With over 1,000 vibrant colors, magically help to transform somebody's space or your special place. With EdgeChem Color Glow Plus amazing colors, available in flat, no sheen or gloss. Visit any of our 24 EdgeChem retail stores and other distributors island-wide, or download our EdgeChem Color app. Select your favorite color, and let's bring back the spirit of Christmas. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress. Easy in-store financing and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
Register for one of the premier events of the Chartered Accountants Week 2024, the ICAJ Business Conference. That's right, the conference is set for October 10, 2024 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel and online. This year's theme, Reimagining the Future, Integrity, Innovation, and Impact, will provide business and accounting professionals with modern strategies for today's economy. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. p.m. for key discussions, insightful information on the role of AI in accounting, and more. The broadcast will also feature exclusive interviews and a wealth of knowledge that will showcase ICAJ's leadership in shaping the future of accounting and finance in Jamaica. So, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online for this revolutionary experience on October 10 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The ICAJ Business Conference is back. Catch all the action at the Jamaica Pegasus online or tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. Register for ICAJ Business Conference at www.icaj.com by October 4.
No matter how happy couples are together, sometimes there are plenty of pleasures they can't enjoy together. And there's an agreement that Joe can provide a place and peace of mind that Tom can't make happen. I mean, suppose your partner likes to eat out a lot and you're a homebody. Maybe you'll allow him to link his female foodie friend, What if you're vegan and your partner likes to eat meat? Maybe you'll allow her to link her jerk chicken man sometimes. It might sound crazy to some, but there are couples who allow their partners to step out and find fun and frolic elsewhere. Well, I know. Join me, Rodney Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic, if we said open, that mean not closed. What kind of relationship that?
Affairs of the Heart is brought to you by Supermed Pharmacy. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
Okay, good evening and welcome to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swiebe, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some equestrian now, as the Equestrian Federation of Jamaica is hosting the local leg of the two-day Caribbean Equestrian Association Mini Dressage Challenge, Mini Jump Challenge, and Regional Jump Challenge. The competition, which started today, is being hosted by the Kingston Polo Club and Equestrian Center. We have joining us to shed some light on what has been happening the Secretary General of the EFJ, the Equestrian Federation of Jamaica, Lisa Lindo, and we hope to be joined by the President of the Caribbean Equestrian Federation, Heidi Meho. But until we make connection with Heidi, we just want to say good evening and welcome to Lisa. Lisa, good evening.
Hi, how are you doing, Alec?
I'm good, thanks. Like I said, we're waiting to to connect with Heidi. We haven't connected with her just yet. But let's start with you until if and when we get through to her. You're part of this organizing committee for this competition. From what I see, it seems as if it's three competition in one. Explain the competition for us.
Right. Well, the CEA, which is the Caribbean Equestrian Association, Jamaica is one of 10 member countries, and there's a calendar year, the 1st of September to June 30, where each country is to run. They're to run one of these competitions. So what we have done this year is we are hosting 3 of those competitions over one weekend. So today we had the MDC, the Mini Dressage Challenge, and then we ran the MJC, which was the Mini Jumping Challenge. And tomorrow we will be having the RJC, the Regional Jumping Challenge. So it's a big week. It's been a really busy day, very busy day, but successful. We got through it. The rain held us up a bit today, but some lightning, but we were able to complete today's event, and tomorrow morning we start bright and early. Well, not as bright and early as this morning, but tomorrow we start at 9 a.m.
Right, and that is expected to run until when?
We should be finished by midday. It's going to be quick because it's just the RJC. It's 3 different heights. So by midday, 1 o'clock, we'll be done. If you listen, you guys need to come because it's going to be a lot of fun. And really exciting to watch. So come early, spend the day. Admission is free. We have lunch on sale. It's just a lovely outing. If you've never experienced horses before, come. It's a really lovely time.
Right. And tell me, this is 3 competition in one. What was it like planning and now executing the competition?
Oh my! Planning was a whole heap of work. Heidi Mello, the president of the CEA, our show committee chaired by Nazma Chin. We've been meeting every Tuesday for the past 3 to 4 weeks, really trying to put everything together so that today could be as smooth as possible. So it took a lot of work, but we got through it, and we're happy about that.
Right, and speaking of Heidi, she has joined us online. Heidi, good evening and welcome. Hello? Heidi Mello? Hello? Okay, seems we're having some challenges connecting with her. Let's come back to you. Like you said, it has been a challenge putting and executing this event. Tell me, what has been the reaction from the equestrian community to this competition?
It's been very good. Well, listen, the challenge is just a lot of work. It's a lot of details to work out. So but the response from the community has been very good. All 5 riding centers are represented in this event, and the MJC is a lower. The NDC is the dressage. It's we had, I think, about 20 entries in the dressage, which was really encouraging. And for the MJC, the jumping, we had quite a few entries, and it really gives an opportunity for the more inexperienced riders to get an opportunity to represent their country. So that was very positive. And then tomorrow, we have the higher jumps, more experienced riders. So we're looking forward to it. We've had a good response from the equestrian community, definitely.
Right, and let me try and reconnect with Heidi Mello. Heidi, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Hello?
Good evening to you.
Okay, I'm hearing you clearly now. You are the president of the Caribbean Equestrian Federation. Not a lot of persons will be familiar with yourself and the federation. Share with us a bit about yourself and the CEF.
I'm born Bermudian. I've been president of the CEA for 3 years. I grew up in the horse industry, and I'm an official at top level with the governing body of the sport in show jumping.
Right, and to come to this competition, this is the Jamaica leg of the competition. Tell me the countries that are participating. Is it that for the Jamaica leg only the Jamaican riders will be competing? How does it work?
So the CEA is comprised of 10 countries, 10 islands, and today we had one rider from Bermuda actually here in Jamaica competing. But everybody else was Jamaica. They competed, they showed very well, and the scores from today, the winners from each division make up the Jamaica team, and the Jamaica team is looking very strong going forward. They had excellent results in the dressage, excellent results in the mini dressage, mini jumping challenge, and tomorrow is the big class. And the pressure is on to either match Barbados' score or maybe even perhaps beat Barbados tomorrow.
Right. So what I was trying to get at, for each leg, for Barbados, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands and others, what happens is that the countries compete, the riders from that country compete amongst themselves and get points. And then you move on to Barbados or other country. Is that how it works?
Each country has a year to host the 4 competitions that we provide. Most of the countries either do it very early in the season or very late in the season due to the weather. Now is a very busy time for countries to be competing. The next stop for me for the competition is Bahamas. And after Bahamas, my next stop to officiate would be Martinique. Right. The competition allows the riders to compete at home in front of the home crowd on their own horses and combine the scores and the results with the rest of the Caribbean.
Okay. And tell me, as judge, what is it that you look for in both rider and horse?
For me, the job is easy. The jump either falls down or it stays up. For the dressage judge, it's a little more complicated. We have one dressage judge that travels throughout the Caribbean over the year. And then for me, the countries that invite me to come in and judge, I come in and officiate, judge, help them progress, help them organize the show, just educate and move forward and move along.
Right. And to come back to you, Lisa, tell me, who are some of the partners that have been contributed to the successful hosting of this competition so far?
Oh boy, listen, without our sponsors, we cannot. And Hasbro is they're the title sponsor, and they have really come in to support us again, and we're really grateful for them. There's also, we have an associate sponsor. Heidi, remind me again of their name again. The boys.
East is the clothing store from Germany, and then the Caribbean Equestrian Academy.
Right. Okay. Caribbean Equestrian Academy, yeah. So, but Hypro is our title sponsor, and so we're really, we can't do without partners like that. Definitely not.
Right. And Lisa, I know the pandemic would have hurt the sport like so many other sporting disciplines. Are you seeing an improvement in the number of entrants for this competition?
This year, definitely. And I'm talking about the entire year of showing that we've had already. We've had a very good representation from all the riding centers, and this is the first time that Jamaica is participating in the MJC, which is the Mini Jumping Challenge. And it really has boosted our entries, but it also gives, as I was saying a little bit before earlier, it gives an opportunity for more inexperienced riders to come out and represent their country. So, and as Heidi pointed out, when she comes, it is so valuable because she comes and she educates. So it is really helping us to grow just because of your experience that she shares with us.
Right, and Heidi, as Lisa mentioned, that you come you don't come only to judge but to educate. Does this include a workshop for coaches, for riders?
Last year I came in and I did a workshop. This year we came in and we buckled right down and started into the competition. But when I took over as president, one of my goals was to educate, unite the islands, have the same level of officials throughout the islands, and so that everything was the same no matter which island you were in. And it's starting to come together quite nicely.
Right. And this question is for both of you. This is the first day of the two-day competition. Tell me who have impressed you so far. Let me start with you, Heidi.
There's been quite a few riders that have impressed me. The improvement has been magnificent. There's a couple of young men that are coming right up on the rankings. The girls did dominate the sport today, and they ended up on the podium and made the team for Jamaica in the mini jumping. And also, we had one young man step up to the plate and join the podium for the dressage as well, which was very pleasing to see.
And Lisa, who have impressed you?
Oh boy, Alric, I'm tired, Oh gosh.
Who is that?
Oh goodness, we really saw some good riding today. Oh goodness. The Burrell girls, they've been out of riding for a little while, and it was just really nice to see them in the show ring again, boosting their confidence. some girls from Montego Bay. The young lady that, on 20, oh goodness, Sydney Edwards, I believe is her name. She did a beautiful dressage test. Isabel Simondan did a lovely dressage test. So listen, there were the girls and the boys. They really showed nicely today, and I'm just really pleased for the kids. I really am. It was wonderful.
Right, and tell me, Lisa, this is the mini dressage challenge, mini jump challenge, and regional jumping challenge. What is this a competition that prepares the rider and horse for a particular event, regional or international event? Do they get points from this so that they qualify for a particular competition?
No. This is for the CEA regional competitions that the CEA offers. So this will qualify riders for any other event. It is another competition to give our young people exposure, and trying to very hard give them international what you'd say, Heidi, the way of running the show at an international level.
The regional challenge is after regional is continental. So this is the pinnacle of the sport for us in the Caribbean. And to be able to compete and ride in the regional challenge, I think, is a very big deal, and to represent your country. For me in sport, there's nothing more successful to be able to represent your country. And then to be able to represent your country on home turf and have, the home team cheering for you, I think that is the best that we can get, and any country. But this is the top of the league for us regionally. The next step above this is continental. Continental going into Central American and Caribbean games. And then, of course, after Central American Caribbean games, it's the Pan American Games. And after the Pan American Games, it's the Olympic Games. So this is sort of the fourth step going into competing into games, which is where we want to start to stage out the Caribbean to go. My greatest wish is that we could form a Caribbean team. If we could form a Caribbean team, like a West Indies cricket team, I think we'd really make a sense. But unfortunately, we are our own individual islands, and we have to compete as we are as individuals. As we know in sport, it's always good to come from a big island and a strong country. Right. That's not possible for us, so we move forward and we move with what we have. But this is the top level of competition that Jamaica will see this year, and same for the other islands.
Right. Heidi, tell me, who are some of the other judges that are working with you during this competition?
This particular competition, I'm working with a local judge by the name of Jason Walter, and then we have the dressage judge here as well, who comes from Mexico. So last year the judge was from Colombia. This year he's from Mexico. Next year I'll hire a judge from somewhere else. The dressage is a little more complicated because I have to get a dressage judge that will commit to possibly travel to all 10 of the Caribbean countries in this, where in the jumping, some of the islands use national judges that they have that have been certified through the Caribbean Equestrian Association program of education, which I head up myself. I'm in very good contact with all of the officials in the islands. They call me with any problems, anything I can help them out with. So some islands don't have judges of higher level of officials, so then they'll ask me to come in. They can bring in other judges, it doesn't matter. But to judge the regional competition, you must be recognized as an international official through the governing body of the sport, which is the FEI.
Right. And explain the jumping competition. Persons can imagine what that is, but the dressage, is that the competition where the rider almost allows the horse to dance? What's the dressage? Explain that. Yes. That's what most people see it as. Basically, the dressage is the foundation to all equestrian sports, and it's being able to manage the horse on the flat,
and also be very accurate. And the dressage is the basics that they need to go on to do the jumping. So for me, the dressage is very important, which is why I encourage the lower level of competition so that we can get the youngsters in the ring and competing internationally at a young age.
Right, and Lisa, I'm assuming it would have been it's very expensive for a horse and rider to travel to these various competitions. How important was it for the riders to be at home for this competition?
It's difficult for us to move horses from Jamaica overseas. So it is ideal that we can compete on home soil.
Right.
It gives a lot more riders an opportunity to compete for the country.
Right, and tell me, what do riders win for each category? How many categories you have, by the way?
4 categories total, and Jamaica is actually competing in the 3 of the 4 categories.
Right, and what does the riders get in terms of prize?
Our riders, we're awarding our riders with some beautiful rosettes, first to 4th place, and so that's what they get. And then also our sponsor, High Pro, they also give gift certificates, and we also received some gift certificates for the team prizes from East, which is an apparel a company out of Germany, Equestrian Apparel. So that was a really nice treat. So, those are the gifts that we give to our winners.
Right, and finally, Lisa, tell me, just share with Jamaica again, where the competition, what time it starts, and how to get it.
Right, okay. Well, it's going to be tomorrow, at the final day, tomorrow morning, starting at, is it 9 a.m., Heidi, we start?
Yes.
Yes, 9 a.m. at Kingston Polo Club and Equestrian Center. Admission is free. We have wonderful lunch and Sunday lunch and on sale. A bar is open. It's just a lovely atmosphere out there. If you've never experienced horses before, it's a wonderful time to come and watch and touch a horse. And bring the kids out. It's just wonderful. A lovely family day.
So come and support your country.
Right.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Wear your Jamaica colors and come and support your country.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. Okay, ladies. Thanks very much for stopping by and sharing this information with us.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.
You too. It's my pleasure. Okay, so that was Heidi Melo, President of the Caribbean Equestrian Federation and Secretary General of the Equestrian Federation of Jamaica, Lisa Lindo. We take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
We're your partner in color, over 30 years strong, serving Jamaica beautifully, changing lives and leading the revolution with quality products innovated for when you need a superior finish. Edgecam paints are trusted, loved and used by experts in the business of automotive, industrial, decorative and furniture. We have the blueprint to help you create, vibe and live life beautifully. Edgecam, changing lives 1 gallon at a time.
Are you burning up with this summer heat?
The place hot, man.
Get cool now with a Hisense air conditioner.
Wow, I feel good.
With advanced energy-saving inverter technology and whisper quiet operation. Beat this heat with Hisense. Available at Aliabra Brands Limited, 64 Hagley Park Road, or call 876-676-5951 now.
So good. So good. I got to you.
Are you you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Let me just jump over to our YouTube page and say a good evening to those on YouTube. Andrew Thomas, good evening. Annie Smith, good evening to you. We also have Errol Townsend. As we go down even further, we say a good evening to Michael over there on our YouTube page. Marigold Weber, good evening to you. And Ricardo Porteous, a special good evening to you. And David, good evening to you also. We have Dennis Barnaby. Special good evening to you, Dennis. So those are some of the persons on our YouTube platform. So we just want to say good evening and thanks for joining. Let me jump and just share with you some of the results from the ISA Digital Manning Cup football competition. Well, we have Eltham, they beat Dunan Park Technical 2-0. Heidel, they blanked Arden 8-0. Calabar, they clipped Stats 1-0. Camperdown and Vauxhall drew 0-all. Denham Town, well, Jamaica College, they would have blanked Ascot 5-0. Excelsior, they whipped Pembroke Hall 15-0. St. George's College, they stopped Holy Trinity 5-0. So those are some of the results in the ISA Digital Manning Cup football competition. Now in the Costa Cup, ISA Water the Costa Cup competition, we have Rushies beating Cambridge 3-1. Green Island, they beat Anchovy 2-1. Froome Tech, they blanked Nakalva 8-0. Central, they beat Edwin Allen 2-1. Clarendon College, they whipped Claude McKay 7-0. Cornwall College, they beat Irwin 4-1. Green Pond, they stopped Herbert Morrison 5-2. Maldon, they beat St. James 4-1. Godfrey Stewart beat Grange Hill 1-0. Mannings, they beat Little London 6-0. Cedric Titus whipped Mushet 13-0. It was 0-all between Spot Volley and William Nib. Stets, they beat BB Coke 3-1. Lacovia, they clipped Newell 1-0. Magotti and Monroe, they drew 0-all. Manchester beat Bellier 1-0. It was 5-1 in favor of the Carteret College over Crosskeys. Dintil Technical and McGrath drew 0-all. Charlemont, they beat Tatius Golden 3-0. Ferncourt High, they were beaten 8-1 by Ocherias. It was 4-0 in favor of Glenmuir over Old Harbour. Happy Grove, they beat Morant Bay 2-0. Titchfield, they clipped St. Mary High 1-0. And Port Antonio, they beat St. Mary Tech 2-0. So those were the results in the ISA Manning and the Costa Cup football competitions. We go over now to the English Premier League. We have some other results in that competition. So in the English Premier League, where we have Liverpool coming out on top. Now Liverpool continue their impressive start to this English Premier League season by securing a 6th successive victory in all competitions, with victory at Crystal Palace. But it came at a cost as goalkeeper Alisson went off with an injury. The early Premier League pace setters took the 3 points thanks to Diego Jota's first half strike, as Portugal forward capitalised on some poor defending to turn in Cody Gakpo's cross.
Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Gakpo, and Gakpo into a great area where it's tucked in, polished off eagerly, gleefully by Diego Jota. And it's taken 8 minutes for the league leaders to strike.
Now, Reds manager Arne Slot says Alisson will be out for a couple of weeks.
Liverpool hat, so quite special. Yeah, no, it definitely is, and it's actually also quite special if you know, and you know, how many great managers Liverpool had. But I also said last week, I think that I hope they don't only remember me in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years only for this. We are hoping to do more special things than this, and it also says the luck I had that I inherited a very good squad and a very good staff to continue getting the results that Jurgen had here as well. Yeah, the latest is that we don't know, but what we do know is if a player walks off like he does, that normally means that he's not in the Brazil squad, and I don't expect him to be in the team in the first game we play afterwards. But yeah, we have to wait and see. But it's going to take a few weeks, I assume, for him to be back. He has certain characteristics to play in that position, and one of them is that he's really comfortable with the ball. So every time you play him, he knows what to do with it. So he's really good in 1-2 touch passes, but he's also very comfortable in turning away from his man, so we can create an overload. But apart from that, where is the main focus for everyone, probably, because if you make highlights of him, you're mainly gonna show his offensive work. But he's tall, he can run, strong in the duels. And the positive for him in being in this position is if he would have played a bit higher up the pitch. Everybody's always talking about his goals and assists, that he needs to do more. Now in this position, that's not why we play him. So, but it's also very helpful for him to play in front of Virgil and Ibu, to play next to Maka, because it's a big help for him, those players as well. No, I think Alisson is our clear number one. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. So it's always a blow when he gets injured, for himself, but also for us as a team. But the positive thing for the team is, and that's not only in the goalkeeper position, but almost in every position, that we have a second option that's also really good. And Queef has already shown that, so that's quite clear then that he's the number two. Otherwise, the last time Alisson was injured, I would have played Feet, but I played Queef, so Queef is the number two, did really well. And it's very pleasing to see that our third goalkeeper, because Queef was sick yesterday, and today, of course, that even our third goalkeeper can have an impact on our results. No, but there's a lot going into this. There's a lot of answers for me a lot to tell you, to give you a good answer. But one of the things is, I think you saw today how much we controlled the first 60 minutes. Then we had 15 to 20 minutes, a difficult spell. And then in the last 10 minutes, we took control again. We took control by having a very good build-up. And that helps to also tire, I don't know if it's the way you say it, but tire the opponents for the other team, because they have to defend a lot, they have to run a lot to make it difficult for us. And then the work rate our attackers, midfielders put in is, I think, also extraordinary. And that combination with a few other things, because it's also the quality of the centre-backs and the goalkeeper, leads to so many clean sheets.
Right. And Arsenal came from behind to maintain their unbeaten start to the season against winless Southampton at Emirates Stadium. 2 goals in 10 second-half minutes from Kai Havertz and Gabriel Martinelli ensured the Gunners made a full recovery after being stunned by Cameron Archer's opener for the visitors before Bukayo Saka confirmed the 3 points late on.
And Fernandes immediately looks for Cameron Archer. It's Archer! It's in! Mateus Fernandes! Well, there's a lot of talk about whether Raheem Sterling was fouled. But Arsenal's picked apart, and Southampton have taken the lead at the Emirates. Stolen by Partey into Havertz. It's Kai Havertz! It's that man again for Arsenal. 7 in a row at home. 1-1 on the afternoon after Southampton had taken a shot lead. What a finish from Havertz. Bukayo Saka, lovely angle, and that Gabriel Martinelli off the bench to touch Arsenal into the lead. But what a ball from Bukayo Saka to set that up. Trossard brings it forward here for Arsenal as Martinelli to his left. Saka! And that should take care of that. Bukayo Saka at the heart of another Arsenal win. He set up the second and he has scored the third. Arsenal 3, Southampton 1.
Now Brentford capitalised on a dreadful defensive performance from Wolves to claim their first Premier League victory since August to leave Gary O'Neill's side still searching for their first top-flight win of the season.
Belief about the way they're attacking. Oh, they scored again! It's not in the first minute, it's a minute and 16 seconds on the clock. Collins, of all people, at the head of the queue. How do they do this week in, week out? Now the defence having to readjust. Semedo across the face of goal. And a perfect comeback from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Cunha, right place, right time, right reaction. Bryan Mbeumo draws breath, gets himself into the zone, and casually puts Brentford into the lead. Self-inflicted mistake by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Gleefully taken by Bryan Mbeumo. Cunha making ground. Nate Nouri has joined the attack. He's looking for Strand Larsen. Oh, he's there! Brilliant! Reflex finish from Jorgen Strand Larsen. Razor sharp in the 6-yard box after some brilliant play. Lazy clearance from the skipper, and he doesn't get for the challenge either. Black stays down for now. Wolves are praying that VAR intercepts here as Norgard goes away celebrating. It's a remarkable amount of space for him to operate in. Pinnock at the far post. Oh, another one! It's with such ease, isn't it? Pinnock, freedom of the area. Yes, so there's another one. Humiliating. Cavagno walked it into the goal. Can't believe his luck. And I think Wolves are heading rock bottom in the Premier League. They are rock bottom of the table. Has to go for goal, and he gets it in there. And it's a consolation. There's little consolation for Wolves, their manager and their players at this moment in time.
A stunning first-half goal lifted Leicester City to their first win of the Premier League season as the host beat Bournemouth 1-0 at the King Power Stadium.
Buonanotte. Jamie Vardy waits. Buonanotte might go alone. And how! A brilliant goal from Facundo Buonanotte as Leicester City search for liftoff.
Now, Mateo Kovacic scored twice as Manchester City overcame a dogged Fulham to pick up a first Premier League win in 3 games.
Jimenez again, trying to create one for Pereira. It's beautifully made, and he took it well too. Fulham's season is going from strength to strength, and now they're having a go at the champions. As rising, Kovacic absolutely thumped it through the crowds. Well, they can play with such panache, but sometimes you just need the power. Bernardo Silva, Kovacic! Oh, he enjoyed that one, and so did the Etihad. It hasn't taken Manchester City long to click into gear in the second half. Less than 2 minutes on the board, and Mateo Kovacic has his and City's second. Options gathering in the middle, he fancies it himself! Oh, that is fantastic! And that probably sees off Fulham. A strike of real quality from a player who can really turn it on at times. Manchester City relieved to have a 2-goal cushion. Nelson, Muniz, in, Fulham lifeline. And a big moment for him after such a productive end to last season. It's a first goal for him this time round.
Now, West Ham United claimed their first home win in the Premier League under Julian Lopetegui as they beat promoted Ipswich Town 4-1 at the London Stadium.
They're level, and who else but Liam Delap? So much fizz on the shot. Liam Delap yet again. It was a terrific shot, but maybe Alphonse Areola should have done better. Managed to get a hand to that, but he couldn't keep out Delap's effort. It's a fourth Premier League goal this season for Liam Delap, and another fabulous hit. Emerson has done well to dig out the cross. Antonio, but West Ham will not be denied. And neither this time will Mohamed Kudus be denied. Bowen now. It's a third for West Ham. And yet again, Ipswich creating their own problems. Muric had Antonio charging him down, and then it was Jared Bowen who was able to cut inside and to get beyond Phillips and to put his shot beyond the reach of Ara Muric. Here's Bowen. Paqueta arriving. And Paqueta scores. West Ham on the verge of making a double substitution. But now Lucas Paqueta has surely put the game beyond Ipswich's reach.
Meanwhile, Everton and Newcastle drew 0-0 in tomorrow's fixtures. Aston Villa host Manchester United, Chelsea are at home to Nottingham Forest, and Brighton welcome Tottenham. Now, in the Rare Never Jamaica Premier League, the double-header at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex will feature Bolines United against Chapelton Maroons in the first match at 3 p.m. Tivoli Gardens, they face Waterhouse at 5:30 p.m. in the second encounter. At the Effortville Community Centre at 3 p.m., Humber Lion, they'll take on Harbourview, while at Ferdinita Park, Portmore United, they'll go up against Vere United. In the Monday night fixture at Sabina Park, Cavalier, they take on Dunby Holding at 3 p.m. No, that's tomorrow as well at Sabina Park. No, that's Monday's game. Okay, Monday. October 7 at Sabina Park, it's Cavalier against Dunby Holding at 3 p.m. Catherine Hall Sports Complex will see Mount Pleasant Academy up against Racing United at 5, and in the second match at Catherine Hall Sports Complex, it's Montego Bay United against Arnett Gardens, and that match is scheduled to start at 7:30. Well, that's all the time we have for you. We'll want to say a very special thanks to all those who made it possible. Want to say thanks to Lisa Lindo and Heidi Mello. A special thanks to Wayne Walker, who was here with us earlier, and Brianna Johnson, as well as Wendell Martin. And I'm Alric Swaby. On behalf of my technical operator, Kevin Williams, just want to say thank you, God bless, good night, and as usual, hope you'll be in church tomorrow morning. If you don't have a local church to worship, you're welcome to worship with us at Tower Hill Missionary Church, 159 Olympic Way. God bless, good night.